Chapter 195. After Guopai finished speaking, he ignored the gazes of these people and let Xia Fian lead him to the T-Rex cafeteria. Hey, you bragged too much just now. When the time comes, you won't be able to clean up the mess, Xia Fian said softly. It's fine if you don't believe me. After the meal, I'll make you believe me, Guopai said with a smile. There are 148 people. Let me get you something delicious first. Guopai drove Xia Fian out of the cafeteria, and the piles of ancient demon cow meat in the gourd were dug out. I'll give you something nutritious. You'll definitely get twice the result with half the effort later. Guopai said with a smile. After about an hour, the entrance of the cafeteria was already crowded with people. The smell coming from the cafeteria was too fragrant. The door opened and Guopai walked out of the house. Jiang Ao, Xing Tian, and a few others had already gathered around. Dragon King, if you don't have a cook here, find a few people to carry the plates. After Guopai finished speaking, a few young people volunteered to rush into the cafeteria. What kind of meat is this? It's so similar. This is much better than the wild boar meat that Boss Xing got a few days ago, a soldier said softly, and couldn't help but take a few deep breaths. Squirrel, if you dare to drool on the meat, see how I'll deal with you, an older veteran said loudly. The soldier named Squirrel licked his lips fiercely. The soldiers of the Tyrannosaurus regiment were really good. Within 3 minutes, 15 large plates of beef were placed outside, 3 large wooden buckets were filled with fragrant broth, and various other ingredients were placed on many large plates. A few more of you go and carry those wine jars over. Be careful. If you break them or spill the wine, I won't be responsible. After Guopai finished speaking, Xing Tian took the lead and 5 veterans walked into the cafeteria. 6 large wine jars were carried out. These things should be enough to eat. As for how you eat in groups, I don't care. Drink as much as you want. Call me after the meal. I'll help you raise your realm. After Guopai finished speaking, he walked leisurely to a large tree and sat down cross-legged. Another full moon couldn't be wasted. Boss, can we eat now? I'm really hungry. Seeing Guopai walk away, Xing Tian waited for Jiang Ao to speak, and Jiang Ao waited for the Dragon King to speak. A brave soldier shouted, and the Dragon King laughed. I'll be bedridden for 3 years. You guys can do whatever you want when it comes to eating. Fei Yen, get me a plate of beef. The soup will be ready after that. You guys can eat. Xia Wudi said with a smile. As soon as he said that, the 140-plus people were quickly divided into groups and sat around a large plate of beef. Let's eat. Seeing that Xia Fian had already helped the Dragon King, Jiang Ao shouted. All the soldiers had their own way of eating. When the meat entered their mouths, all their expressions changed. Just like the students who had eaten in Bugyaku, they all went crazy. F***ck, it's too delicious. What kind of beef is this? After eating this meat, I feel like my whole body is filled with energy. It's so good, a big guy said loudly. This wine, what kind of wine is this? It's too delicious. A few soldiers beside him looked at this big guy from the corner of their eyes and shouted in their hearts, Idiot. Continue talking, we'll eat. We don't care about you. Talk more, you big guy. The more you talk, the less you eat. But a moment later, this big guy seemed to have reacted and began to eat the beef in big mouthfuls. Bowl after bowl of soup was poured into his mouth, and the wine was not sloppy at all. This made the soldiers beside him jealous. Half an hour later, the 140-plus people finished all the food that Guopai had prepared. Some people even licked the plates reluctantly, causing waves of laughter. Guopai slowly stood up from under the tree. After half an hour of cultivation, the Dragon King's eyes widened. Good lad, he had recovered all the energy he had used to treat me, and even improved a lot. 148 people. Leader Jiang Ao is already in the fasting period. If you're not afraid of death, we can give it a try. I'll directly push you to the nascent soul stage. Guopai looked at Jiang Ao and said with a smile. Jiang Ao, who had eaten his fill, shook his head lightly. Regardless of whether this brat was telling the truth or not, this kind of risk was not worth it. Old brother Xing Tian and old brother Gu Yun are already in the late stage of the Xiantian realm. If I let you guys break through now, your foundation will not be stable, and your future cultivation will definitely be affected. Whether you want to break through or not is up to you. If you want to, stand aside. Guopai continued. The two shook their heads lightly. If it affected their future cultivation, then forget it. Do you think that kicking them out will scare you guys? Haha, Guopai said with a smile as he looked at the soldiers below who had started to mutter. Little brother, let's not talk about anything else. If you need anything for today's meal, we will help you, a soldier said loudly. Everyone nodded in unison. Haha, there are 145 people left. There are 31 people in the middle stage of the Xiantian realm. I won't point them out one by one. You guys stand together. There are 71 people in the early stage of the Xiantian realm, and the rest are all at the peak of the Hotian realm. Am I right? You guys stand up first, Guopai said loudly. The 145 people were divided into 3 groups according to their realms. Report in groups, the Dragon King shouted. 31 people in the middle stage of the Xiantian realm, 71 people in the early stage of the Xiantian realm, and 33 people in the peak of the Hotian realm. Jiang Ao and Xing Tian's expressions changed completely as they looked at Guopai. Perhaps this brat in front of them could really help them improve their realms. 33 meridian opening pills. Each of the 33 people in the peak of the Hotian realm will take one. There will definitely be no problem for you to break through. As for what realms you can reach, it's up to you. Guopai said loudly. The 33 pills flew towards the 33 people, who caught them steadily. 71 meridian opening pills. But your pills are of higher quality. It should be no problem for you to break through a realm. The 71 pills fell into the hands of the 71 people in the early stage of the Xiantian realm. 31 people in the middle stage of the Xiantian realm will take one each. Take it, and I will use silver needles to help you open your meridians. Whether you can break through or not will depend on your luck, Guopai said loudly. Dragon King, let the other members of the Violent Dragon Group be on guard. If the news spreads outside, I think not only will I be in trouble, but you will also be in big trouble. Guopai said with a smile. The Dragon King nodded fiercely. With 145 people breaking through at the same time, who would dare to invade Huaxia again with the Violent Dragon Group? Of course, Guopai didn't think too much. Since you helped me save my wife, I will help you improve your realms. Pass down the order. No matter who it is, anyone who approaches the Violent Dragon Mountain will be killed without mercy, the Dragon King roared. Xing Tian and Jiang Ao flew off into the distance. Little brother, can this pill be taken directly? A big man in the peak of the Hotian realm asked in a low voice. Guopai nodded lightly. The big man swallowed the pill directly. He had been stuck at the peak of the Hotian realm for 2 years. A powerful energy broke through the virtual bottleneck, and he broke through the Hotian realm. I, Dong Taijun, have finally reached the Xiantian realm. In less than 10 minutes, the big man roared loudly. A powerful aura was emitted from his body. He was at the peak of the early stage of the Xiantian realm, only 1 step away from the middle stage of the Xiantian realm. Guopai was giving acupuncture to the 31 middle stage Xiantian expert. Hearing the roar, a silver needle flew out and pierced into the big man's neck. A hot qi mixed with the pill's energy. The big man had reached the middle stage of the Xiantian realm. Chapter 196. Dejun actually broke through from the peak of the Hotian realm to the middle of the Xiantian realm. This is too terrifying. A few people who had finished absorbing the medicinal power of the pills couldn't help but exclaim when they saw Dong Tiejuan's transformation. If Dejun wasn't injured during that mission, he would have broken through to the Hotian realm long ago. This time, he managed to advance by 2 realms. It can be considered as accumulating strength. A soldier who had broken through to the Hotian realm said softly. In the next hour, if other Wuxiu saw this scene, they would definitely be stunned by the scene in front of them. There were more than 100 people, and every few minutes there would be someone breaking through to the next realm. Waves of energy fluctuations caused all the wild beasts on the Berserk Dragon Mountain to stay in their nests, trembling. Although the people on the mountain weren't to be trifled with, and they would hunt wild animals on the mountain every day, such a thing had never happened before. It was too frightening. Foster father, I'm now at the peak of the Xiantian realm. I'm only 1 step away from the enlightened realm. Guopai removed the 36 silver needles from Xiaofian's body. The medicinal energy in her meridians instantly broke through her bottleneck, allowing her to stay at the peak of the Xiantian realm. Thank Guopai and little you properly, Xiao Wudi said with a smile. A peak of the Xiantian realm before the age of 20, who would dare to believe it? But now, Xiaofian was truly at the peak of the Xiantian realm. No need to thank me. I told you from the start that if you want to live past the age of 24, you have to come to me. I won't force you. The 9 Yang Xian body is your fortune and also your calamity. Guopai said softly as he began to remove the needles from the last 3 people. The Dragon King looked at Xiaofian. This adopted daughter was an abandoned baby that he had rescued from a place called Fire Island on the East Sea during a mission. At that time, the little girl's body was burning hot and he thought that she would not survive. Unexpectedly, not only did she survive, but she was also a genius like Wu Xiu. However, when Xiaofian was 16 years old, she fainted during a cultivation process. At that time, Huaxia's medical sage, Lin Changtian, came to visit Xiaofian and said that this girl had the legendary 9 Yang mysterious body. He could not do anything about it. This matter had always been a sore point for the Dragon King. He did not expect that Guopai would be able to solve it. The Dragon King looked at Guopai and then at the blushing Xiaofian. He already had a plan in mind. There's one more. Guopai's body could not take it anymore after performing acupuncture on 30 mid-stage Xiantian experts at once. He did not expect that the consumption this time would be so great. Now only this big guy was left. However, when Guopai's divine sense landed on the big guy's body, Guopai was completely stunned. Dragon King, let the others go to the martial arts field. I will set up a formation in a while and let them comprehend it well. Guopai said with a smile. A jade seed appeared in his hand and he threw it into the air. This time, it was the Dragon King's turn to be shocked. The entire martial arts field gave him an unfathomable feeling. Who exactly was this Guopai? Brother, is Brother Kong Fei all right? A young man walked to Guopai's side and asked softly. Brother Kong Fei is our class monitor. We will wait for him to finish and go to the martial arts field together. If you want your class monitor to hate you for the rest of his life, then do it here. Anyway, with you here, I can't perform acupuncture in peace and help this big guy break through to the Xiantian realm. Do whatever you want, Guopai said casually. The Dragon King's eyes widened. Break through to the Xiantian realm? Could it be that this Guopai could directly break through to the Xiantian realm and enter the enlightened realm? Little brother, let's go. We're leaving right now. As long as our brother Fei is fine, we'll follow you in the future. We'll do whatever you want us to do. With that, the young man sped off toward Martial City. Dragon King, you should also go to Wu Castle. No matter what happens here, don't let anyone come near, Guopai said softly. The Dragon King nodded slightly. Xiaofian pushed the Dragon King to Wu Castle. Jiang Ao and Xing Tian stood guard not far from Guopai. Big guy, I know you can hear me. You don't have to answer. You just need to listen to me, Guopai said with a smile as he sat cross-legged opposite the big guy. You are very special. This is why you still haven't finished absorbing the elixir I gave you. I will perform acupuncture for you in a while. I don't have any requests, but I hope that you will follow me when you wake up. I will deal with the Dragon King. I just want to let you know in advance, Guopai continued. The Xiantian realm is the limit of the average wuxio. For example, Xing Tian will forever be stuck in the Xiantian realm if they don't have a great opportunity. Guopai said with a smile. But you are different. You are like a brother of mine in Wu Castle. You have a different bloodline than humans. I will tell you slowly when you wake up. I am going to perform acupuncture. It will be very painful, so calm your mind. After saying that, Guopao took out a needle bag from his body and stuffed a pill into his mouth. His body, which was originally a little weak, was suddenly filled with strength. 81 silver needles pierced into Kong Fei's body. Kong Fei's whole body began to tremble. A surge of energy stronger than anyone else's was emitted from his body. Guopai took out 9 thumb-sized white jades and arranged them beside the 2 of them. After a while, the white jades turned into powder. Damn it, I have to find some time to get some good jade. The requirements of the 9-star deception formation are really high. I can't hide it anymore. Whether you can escape this disaster depends on your luck, Guopai said softly. He held the pirated sky-throwing seal in his hand. Then, thunder rumbled in the sky. The capital, it's the capital. Someone is going to break through to the Xiantian realm. In the direction of the Tyrannosaurus mountain, someone from the Tyrannosaurus group is going to break through. An old man in Bugyaku of Wu Castle said softly. The old man arrived at Wu Castle right after Guopai left Wu Castle. This old man was Madman Qin from Buzhou Mountain. A breakthrough. Someone has made a breakthrough again. Once in Wu Castle, once in the capital. Is it really that easy to make a breakthrough to the Xiantian realm? In the depths of the mountain, an old man opened his eyes and said softly, Baka, Huaxia. Why is it Huaxia again? You sent so many people to Huaxia. What happened to Huaxia recently? Could it be that those elixirs at the auction in Wu Castle are real? Go and find out. An old man with a wretched appearance scolded loudly. Several ninjas disappeared from the room. The Violent Dragon Group. You said that Guopai went to the Violent Dragon Group. Could it be that the breakthrough this time has something to do with him? Gu Zhulei narrowed his eyes and said, Family head, I have something to tell you. Second young master went to Wu Castle yesterday and brought 2 girls with him. An old man said softly to Gu Zhulei. He went to Gu Cheng and brought 2 girls with him? Didn't I tell you before? No one is allowed to leave the Gu family. Why didn't you tell me yesterday? Gu Zhulei said with a gloomy face. Second young master went out with your token. The identities of the 2 girls have been investigated. One is the young lady of the Lin family who is engaged to first young master. She is the girl who teaches in Wu Castle. The other one is the girl from the Sun family. The old man continued. Xiao Lai's fiancé? What does Xiao Shang want to do? Gu Zhulei was stunned and asked loudly. Family head, I told you not to be angry. That girl from the Lin family is pregnant. The old man looked at Gu Zhulei, who was already angry, and continued. Pregnant? Gu Shang, are you trying to anger me to death? Gu Zhulei roared loudly. Chapter 197. Piss you off? I can't be the head of the family even if I piss you off. Why should I piss you off? Gu Shang's figure flashed and appeared in the hall. He smiled and said to Gu Zhulei, Unfilial son, that girl from the Lin family is your future sister-in-law. Do you know that you actually did such a beastly thing? What are you trying to do? As Gu Zhulei spoke, he slammed his hand and a pear wood table turned into powder. My sister-in-law? Haha, is she really my future sister-in-law? Old man, your good grandson Gu Lai is going to have a good life this time. He's going to be cuckolded. Haha, Gu Lai, my good brother. Gu Shang laughed loudly. Gu Gulei was about to go crazy. Unfilial son, get out of the Gu family. Gu Zhulei said loudly as his whole body trembled. Killing his father and sister-in-law. Gu Zhulei never thought that his grandson was such a person. Old man, I didn't make this girl pregnant. What right do you have to ask me to get out of the Gu family? I brought her to the Gu family this time. It's fine if you don't thank me, but what's wrong with your brain? Gu Shang said loudly. Someone made Gu Lai a cuckold. Old man, my good grandfather, ha. What did you say? That girl from the Lin family isn't your child? Gu Zhulei was stunned and asked softly. I just went to Wu Castle today. How can I make a girl pregnant in one day? Old man, you think too highly of me. Gu Shang said with a smile. Who is it? Gu Zhulei asked with a gloomy face. I asked that girl, but she refused to say. However, there's only one man she has a close relationship with in Wu Castle. That's the head of Bugyaku. Guopai, the person you sent to assassinate. Ha. Gu Shang laughed again. Bring that girl here. I want to ask her myself. Lin family Bugyaku. Gu Zhulei said fiercely. Imperial capital Baolong Mountain, the sound of thunder was loud. However, the most surprising thing was that although the thunder was muffled, the moonlight flood dragon still shone on the martial field. Kong Fei, whether or not you can stabilize your enlightened realm will depend on whether or not you can withstand this heavenly might. Guopai sent a secret vocal transmission. Before he could finish his words, a thunderous boom rang out beside their ears. Next, Kong Fei felt a wave of coercive power pressing down on his head. The enlightened stage, the three wrath of the heavens. Kong Fei, if you can endure these three wrath, you will be a true enlightened stage expert. After Guopai finished speaking, Kong Fei roared and his muscles were compressed together at a speed visible to the naked eye. Break for me. My fate is in my own hands, not in the hands of the heavens. Kong Fei roared loudly, all of his muscles swelled up under the great pressure. Guopai nodded slightly. Not bad, Senior Magi's spirit blood, he wasn't bragging. Just as Kong Fei's muscles expanded, the thunder in the sky became even louder. A bolt of lightning appeared, and then the thunder surrounded Kong Fei. Everyone in the martial arts field widened their eyes. Captain, when you broke through to the innate stage, was this the same situation? Xing Tian asked Jiang Ao softly. That year, I accidentally ate a sky sun ginseng. Luckily, I wasn't in the enlightened stage. How could I make such a big commotion? Jiang Ao said softly, looking at Kong Fei with a trace of disbelief. Break for me. Kong Fei roared. All of the blood vessels in his body burst open, and his whole body was covered in blood. His whole body emitted a terrifying energy. However, Guopai, who was closest to Kong Fei, secretly shouted, Not good. Thunder rumbled again, and rushing thunder roared. Rushing thunder had already turned into a virtual dragon head, flying towards Kong. Damn, isn't it just the Senior Magi's spirit blood being activated? Is there a need to make such a big scene? Guopai thought to himself, looking at the dragon flying towards him and Kong Fei. Not good, damn it, this is only the enlightened stage, the heavenly might transforming into a dragon. When I was in the golden core stage, the heavenly might transforming into a dragon appeared. This is only the enlightened stage. Guopai said, his whole body shining with golden light. He threw the pirated sky-throwing seal in his hand into the void, and put on the Taoist robe in the gourd, facing the heavenly might dragon. I'm going all out, Guopai said, and 3 pills appeared in his hand, throwing them at the heavenly might dragon. Bang bang bang. With 3 loud sounds, Guopai fell from the sky, spitting out a mouthful of blood, and almost fainted. He looked at the heavenly might dragon in the sky, glanced at him, and turned to leave. He finally felt relieved. Kong Fei, you're not dead, right? Guopai said softly. Kong Fei slowly stood up, walked to Guopai's side, and helped Guopai up. Guopai stuffed an emerald green pill into his mouth, and his complexion improved slightly. I'll tell Dragon King that my life is yours from now on, Kong Fei said softly. Guopai smiled, and this time he did not refuse. Little you, are you okay? What's with the dragon in the sky just now? Dragon King asked softly. You're the Dragon King. How would I know about the dragon if you ask me? Guopai said with a smile. I'm fine. Get everyone to gather at the martial arts field at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going to rest, Guopai said, and under everyone's shocked expression, he leaned on Kong Fei and walked towards the dormitory. Kong Fei, what realm are you in now? After 3 minutes, Kong Fei returned to the crowd, and Jiang Ao asked with a smile. It should be the enlightening stage that Master mentioned before. Kong Fei scratched his head and said with a smile. Kong Fei, let's have a fight. After speaking, Xing Tian punched towards Kong Fei. Kong Fei didn't dodge, and his fist collided with Xing Tian's. Bang! Kong Fei was forced back a step, while Xing Tian was sent flying 10 or so meters away, coughing up a mouthful of blood. Brother Xing, are you okay? Kong Fei jumped up and landed in front of Xing Tian. He asked nervously, I still can't fully control my strength. Brother Xing, I used too much force. Haha, good boy. You actually made me spit out blood with one punch. I'll follow you in the future. Xing Tian was not angry at all and said with a laugh. Brother Xing, I'm afraid I can't stay in the camp anymore. I just promised this little brother that I'll follow him in the future. Kong Fei whispered, I'll have to ask Dragon King for instructions later. Brat, come here. You don't have to ask for instructions. I approve. Follow this brat, and your path will be wider and wider in the future. Dragon King said loudly. Jiang Ao's face was full of smiles. No matter where Guopai was or who he followed, he was still a member of the Tyrannosaurus Rex group. Dragon King, you're a little biased. While they were chatting, a few people who were originally in the cave appeared in front of Xiao Wudi and said with a smile. Chu-yi, if you have something to say, just say it. Don't waste time. Dragon King was in a good mood. Almost 150 people's strength had improved qualitatively. What could make him happier than this? Little Xing, Little Gu, Little Xia, and Jiang Ao's subordinates have improved so much. You're a little biased, Chu-yi of the Purple Dragon Group said with a smile. Yeah, we don't ask for much. We just want that doctor to help us get 180 enlightening periods, Lu Di, the leader of the Yellow Dragon Group, said with a smile. Dragon King, we white dragons aren't that greedy. We'll just do the same as the brothers of the other groups. We'll help them improve their realms, Bai Xiao said with a smile. Chapter 198. A Bunch of Rascals. Do you think this realm can be improved just by talking? Didn't you see that dragon just now? Which one of you can resist it? Dragon King scolded with a smile. Guopai, little you should go and rest. I'll ask him tomorrow if I can. Mengzi, come here. You were the one who brought him here. Tell us about that kid. Guopai had gone to rest, but there was still a guy here. Bai Xiao pulled Niumeng over and asked with a smile. 3 years ago, when you were on Mount Baolong, I took good care of you. Don't tell me you don't remember me. Niumeng shuddered. How could he not remember this, Bai Xiao? Back then, when the 5 of them were beaten up and sent to the White Dragon to recuperate, Bai Xiao said one sentence. He was still panting. What are you doing here? Get me out and train. Send me back when you're about to die. The night passed quickly. In fact, Niumeng did not know much about Guopai's matter. He just told Bai Xiao and the rest what he knew. At 6 o'clock in the morning, a strong aroma came from the canteen. Guopai walked out with a smile. How is it? Were you too excited to sleep last night? Let's eat together. After eating, follow me to take care of the situation, Guopai said loudly. However, there were a lot of people this time. Other than the members of the 4 dragons who had improved their realm yesterday, there were also members of the other 4 dragons. Gather before 8 o'clock. There's only so much to eat. You can divide it however you want. Guo Pao said with a smile, as if he wanted to see the world in chaos. He picked up a large piece of beef and jumped onto a tree, eating it leisurely. Dragon King, you can't be biased this time. You have already eaten a meal last night. Today these things belong to us, Lu Di said loudly. Old Lu is right. The four of you, take your people and get out of here. Do what you need to do. Chu Yi continued. Old Gu, do you think what Brother Lu and Brother Chu said is feasible? Xing Tian said with a smile. Anyway, I didn't eat to my heart's content yesterday. This morning, I'm going to help my younger brother, so I have to eat my fill. My soldiers and I also need to eat our fill. Gu Yun laughed and said. Following which, close to 300 people started to fight over the food. However, Lu Di, Chu Yi and the rest of the four dragons were clearly weaker than Xing Tian and Gu Yun. However, in front of delicious food, the 300 people were unable to gain an advantage over each other. They couldn't possibly fight over food, right? At 7:30 in the morning, nearly 300 soldiers lined up neatly on the martial field. A powerful pressure was emitted from the martial field. Yes, 300 soldiers, all of them were wuxiu. Little you, I wonder if you can make a trip to my tyrannical dragon group after you're done with your business. You've raised the realms of 4 dragon groups by a level. It's inevitable that the remaining 4 dragon groups will hold a grudge against you. You've made it very difficult for me, the Dragon King, Xiao Wudi said with a smile. What? Brother, does the Dragon King mean that you have helped more than 100 people improve their strength? Then how many meridian opening pills do you have? Niumeng only knew that Guopai had said yesterday that he would help them improve their strength. At that time, he thought that Guopai would only help a few people. He didn't expect that he would help so many people improve their strength. I won't hide it from everyone. The pills I have on me are indeed almost used up. After I'm done with my business, I will return to Wu Castle to refine pills. After that, I will return to the Tyrannical Dragon Group. At that time, I will also raise the strength of the other 4 dragon groups by a level. Guopai means what he says. After Guopai finished speaking, the remaining 4 dragon groups' soldiers burst into an uproar. Little brother, what are you going to do in the imperial capital? Why don't you just leave it to us and focus on refining pills? Bai Xiao said loudly. The others echoed in agreement. I appreciate Big Brother's good intentions. However, my wife has been kidnapped. It's better for me to do this myself. I am a person who wants face. If I don't do this myself, I won't be able to raise my head in the future. I can't afford to lose face like this. Guopai said loudly. All the soldiers in the martial arts field nodded in agreement. Brother, since sister-in-law has been kidnapped, let's not delay any longer. We should go and return as soon as possible. Xing Tian said loudly. Guopai nodded lightly. I wonder which blind aristocratic family in the imperial capital dared to kidnap brother's wife? Gu Yun asked with a smile. Gu clan, the Gu clan of the imperial capital. Guopai replied with a smile. Gu Yun's expression changed. That's right, he was a member of the Gu clan. Because of a small matter in the past, he was expelled from the Gu clan. This matter was actually related to the Gu clan. Brother Gu, if you are a member of the Gu clan of the imperial capital, then don't get involved in this mess. It will save you some trouble later. Brother, I am indeed a member of the Gu clan. However, I will definitely get involved in this mess. The Gu clan is really powerful. They were arrogant in the past and are still so arrogant now. Brother, don't worry, I will definitely not cause you any trouble. Gu Yun said loudly. Guopai glanced at Dragon King. Dragon King nodded lightly. Guopai did not say anything else. Grandpa Xia, if so many people are going to the imperial capital together, shouldn't you send a message to the number 1 chief? Niumeng walked over to Xiao Wudi's side and whispered. Why should I give him a call? You guys can do whatever you want. If anything happens, I, Xiao Wudi, will shoulder it. Dragon King narrowed his eyes and said. There was no need to tell anyone about the Tyrannosaurus group's matters. Without the Tyrannosaurus group, there would be no Huaxia's grand occasion. Without the grand occasion of Huaxia, even the number 1 chief would not be able to sit still. Since that is the case, let's go together. I have already contacted the 531 military region. The vehicles are all ready. Niuming said softly. Xia Wudi nodded lightly. The 148 people saluted Dragon King and followed behind Guopai and Niuming to the 531 military region. Lin family's lass, your Lin family's old master will be here in a while. I would like to ask if the marriage agreement your Lin family made with our Gu clan is still valid. Gu Lei asked someone to bring Lin Shuang and Sun Lingling to the hall. Gu Lai already knew what had happened and his face turned ashen. Because of this matter, he had already beaten up 8 of his peers in the Gu clan for gossiping. Now, no one dared to talk about Lin Shuang's pregnancy. I will take responsibility for my own matters. Why did you contact my grandfather? Could it be that the Gu clan is only capable of using a woman to talk? Lin Shuang gently touched her stomach and said calmly. She knew that such a day would come, but she did not expect it to come so quickly. How is Guopai now? This was the matter that concerned her the most right now. Shut up, bitch! Whose child is this? Speak! Gu Lai roared in exasperation. Gu Lai, I admit that we are engaged, but how many times have you seen me over the years? Do you think I don't know what you have done in the imperial capital? Lin Shuang looked at Gu Lai fearlessly and said, I only have 1 child in my stomach, but the number of children calling you Father Gu Lai should be in the double digits. Gu Lai glared at Lin Shuang, unable to say a word. Who in the imperial capital did not know that the young master of the Gu clan was AB*TCH? Grandpa Gu, elder sister Lin Shuang is the daughter-in-law of the Gu clan. It's fine for you to capture her, but how did I, Sun Lingling, offend the Gu clan? Why did you bring me here? Sun Lingling took a step forward and asked softly. When she was locked up with Lin Shuang, they had already discussed that someone had to go out and find Guopai so that Guopai could leave the imperial capital quickly. Chapter 199. Of course you didn't offend our Gu family, but your man offended the Gu family, so you were also invited to the Gu family. Miss Sun, do you have any other questions? Gu Shang squinted his eyes and looked at Sun Lingling. Brother, I'm just a 3rd-year student of Wu Castle Middle School. How can I have a man? Are you mistaken? Sun Lingling said softly. Isn't the person who took your virginity your man? Miss Sun, I advise you not to play any tricks. I've already contacted your grandfather. He'll be here in a while. Then we'll wait for your man to save you. Haha. Gu Shang laughed and said, Good brother, I forgot to tell you. Just now you asked who the father of sister-in-law's child is. It's Miss Sun's man. Haha, it's that Bugyaku Hall master, Guopai, who's been in the limelight recently. Brother, are you satisfied with my answer? Haha. Gu Lai's expression became uglier and uglier, while Gu Shang laughed even louder. Gu Gulei couldn't do anything to his grandson. The other members of the Gu family didn't dare to breathe loudly for fear of angering the angry Gu Lai. Lin Shuang gently touched her belly, not caring about anyone's gaze. Sun Lingling helplessly shook her head. She only hoped that Guopai would have foresight and not come to the Gu family to save them. Oh my God, it's the T-Rex group. Why are so many people here? Some soldiers who were training on the field in the morning saw Guopai walking down T-Rex Mountain with a group of soldiers behind him, and said loudly, What are you standing there for? Go and tell the chief, a border guard squad leader said loudly. He rushed to Guopai and saluted. I'm Kong Dishing, the squad leader of the T-Rex group. Please wait, chief, Kong Dishing said loudly. Guopai waved his hand and the T-Rex group all stopped. Squad leader Kong, the T-Rex group needs to go out to perform a mission. They need to pass through the T-Rex group. Make way, Jiang Ao said loudly. Kong Dishing looked at the man in front of him, and felt a lot of pressure in his heart. However, he still didn't make way. Squad leader Kong, look at this. Guopai smiled and pulled Kong Dishing to the side. Then, he took out a sign with the word dragon written on it. Salute! Kong Dishing suddenly straightened his back and saluted again, making way for them. The Dragon King's gold medallion. Little brother, did the Dragon King give it to you? Jiang Ao said in shock. The words Dragon King's gold medallion made Xing Tian, Gu Yun and Xia Fian open their eyes wide. I didn't want it at first, but the Dragon King said that it would be useful in the army, so I'll give it a try, Guopai said with a smile. The others were speechless. Useful in the army? That's too useful. Even the number 1 chief has to be courteous when he sees the Dragon King's gold medallion. Squad leader, the chief has ordered us to let them pass. If they need anything, the 531 Battalion will fully cooperate. The soldier who reported the news ran back and whispered. I knew it just now. Do you know what I saw? The Dragon King Gold Medallion is the legendary item that our platoon leader told us about when we first joined the army, Kong Dishing said proudly. 4 trucks, 1 for each team. Mengzi, let's drive your big jeep. Guopai said with a smile. The 5 trucks rushed out of the 531 Battalion and rushed towards the capital. No weapons? You only borrowed 4 military trucks? Chen Dingjun said to himself. That's right. It's the same whether the T-Rex group has weapons or not. A group of perverts. Their whole body is full of weapons. The capital is going to change. Chief, this IOU was left by the kid who came with Niomeng that day. The correspondent handed a note to Chen Dingjun. Old man, I'll lend you 4 trucks. When I come back, I'll promote 4 soldier kings. This is a good deal for you. Prepare the people first. Guopai. The vigorous and powerful words came into view. Chen Dingjun couldn't help but tremble. With the promotion of 4 soldier kings, the 531 Battalion would be able to take first place in the next military region competition. Jingjun, inform the division commanders to come to me immediately, Chen Dingjun said loudly. The entire 531 Battalion became busy. Boss, the 531 Battalion sent news that the T-Rex group wants to move against the Gu family. On the highest floor of the Imperial Capital's government building, a middle-aged man with a square face and glasses said softly with his eyes closed. The square-faced man was Li Dafu, the secretary of the Municipal Party Committee. Little Kai, sit down. Li Dafu opened his eyes and smiled at his secretary, Wang Kai, and said, Tell me your opinion. Boss, this matter is very complicated. I can't say, Wang Kai said with a smile. Tell me, Li Dafu said with a smile. 4 trucks and more than 100 people. If the information is true, the Gu family will be in trouble this time, Wang Kai said softly. Wang Kai said softly, a few days ago, the news of the Gu family assassinating Guopao from the Bu Medical Center spread like wildfire. This should be the fuse for the Tyrannosaurus group to take action. That's because Niu Meng from the Niu family went to 531 with Guopao and then went to the Tyrannosaurus group. As for why the Tyrannosaurus group was willing to help him, 531 did not know. Inform Chief Pang and the others to come to the office for a meeting. Tell Mayor Lu Fengtian to handle this matter, Li Dafu said and closed his eyes again. After about half an hour, the entire Municipal Party Committee building became lively. Lu Fengtian looked at Li Dafu. There were 8 or 9 people standing behind him. Dafu, the 4 trucks will arrive at the Gu family in an hour. I can't handle this matter. Brother, please show me the way. Lu Fengtian's first sentence made the 8 Municipal Standing Committee members behind him widen their eyes. Lu Fengtian had given in. Fengtian, we've been together for so many years. I've always been in charge of building the party, and you've been in charge of other matters. You have to think of a way to deal with this matter. I've already told you about it. The T-Rex group wants to move against the Gu family. The Gu family is involved in many industries in the imperial capital. If something really happens, the imperial capital will be in chaos. Otherwise, we won't be able to handle it. Lu Fengtian took a sip of tea and said, I think the few cases you told me a few days ago are very feasible. Brother Dafu, I think we need to have a meeting to deal with this, Lu Fengtian said with a helpless smile. Haha, brother, let the Gu family handle their own matters. Gu Zhulei, the leader of Hua Xia's special ability group, is not someone to be trifled with. When the time comes, we just need to wrap things up without offending either side, Li Dafu said with a smile. This is also the will of the higher-ups. Lu Fengtian nodded lightly. Regardless of the final outcome of the battle between the Gu family and the T-Rex group, Lu Fengtian was completely defeated in this battle between him and Li Dafu. Tell everyone in the family to stay at home obediently today. No one is allowed to go out. If anyone steps out of this door, they will no longer be a member of our family. Nangong Mouse said softly. When he learned that the 531 army trucks were heading towards the Gu family, he began to worry. The Gu family was in trouble this time. He hoped that the Nangong family would not be implicated. P.S. Today is Mother's Day. I wish all mothers happiness and good health. Chapter 200. From the moment Guopai and his group came out of the 53-3, the news reached Gu Zhulei's ears one by one. When Gu Zhulei heard that Guopai and his group would arrive at the Gu clan in about half an hour, he slowly stood up, leaving only Gu Shang by his side. The others all waited in the courtyard. Old man, you're really patient. Have you thought it through? Gu Shang asked with a smile as he watched everyone walk out. Brat, it's all because of you. You're the one who caused this trouble. You captured that brat's wife. Otherwise, he wouldn't have come looking for trouble with the Gu clan. Actually, the best solution is to hand you over to Guopai. Then, the Gu clan will be fine. Gu Zhulei said loudly. Handing me over to them will be fine? Old man, you sent 4 people to capture that brat. Now, even their bodies can't be found. Do you think handing me over to them will solve the problem? You can hand me over, but what about the Gu clan's green hat? Ha! Gu Shang said with a laugh. Brat, shut up. That brat from the Lin clan and Guopai both deserve to die. Brat, don't cause any more trouble for me in the future. After this is over, go to the Eastern Sea for seclusion. When the time comes, I'll tell your Grandpa Ku to keep an eye on you. Gu Zhulei said loudly. More than 100 people from the T-Rex group. Old man, hurry up and call for more people. Gu Shang said without a care. Gu Zhulei closed his eyes, and an 8 trigrams plate appeared in his hand. He then bit the tip of his tongue, and a trace of essence blood entered his mouth. His eyes suddenly opened, and Gu Zhulei shouted, Spatial passage, open! The 8 trigrams plate on the ground shone brightly. Then, more and more people came into the hall. After about a minute, the 8 trigrams plate no longer had any aura. Cough, cough, cough. Gu Zhulei coughed a few times, and finally spat out a mouthful of blood. Old man, what day is it today? You called all of us here. Aren't you afraid that the 8 trigrams plate will suck you dry? A red-haired youth with a scarlet flame in his palm said with a smile as he looked at Gu Zhulei. Little monkey, can't you stop for a while? Gu Zhulei said with a pale face, I haven't seen you for 3 years. You've improved a lot. The flame in your hand has grown so big. Old man, don't talk anymore. Take a good rest and consume this. A 2-meter-tall man handed a tricolored pill to Gu Zhulei. Gu Zhulei immediately swallowed it, and his complexion instantly recovered. Old man, what is it? You didn't call us here just to reminisce about the old days, did you? A half-naked young man said with a smile. Brother Shang, we haven't seen each other for 3 years. Let's go out and spar. Let the old man chat with them first. I'll let you have a taste of my spatial fury. I'll definitely beat you this time, the young man said as he pulled Gu Shang away. A few people who were prepared to watch the fun also prepared to go out together. Hey Jean, Huatu, Bei Xing, let's not waste time. I've called you here for something. Gu Shang said softly as he looked at Gu Zhulei. Gu Zhulei stood in the middle of the hall and looked at the 108 people. The oldest was no more than 30 years old, while the youngest was no more than 15 or 16 years old. He gently nodded. The Gu family is in trouble. Gu Zhulei's first sentence was only 5 words. None of the 108 people spoke again, and all of them looked at Gu Zhulei. Little guys, I found you from all over Huaxia. I remember that many of you were crying when you first saw me. Now you're all big kids. Gu Zhulei said with a smile. The Gu family is in trouble, so I thought of you. I want you to help me to help the Gu family get through this. Do you think that this old man is useless now? Old man, you talk a lot of nonsense. Who is looking for trouble with the Gu family? Just tell us and we'll help you solve it. You don't have to be emotional here. A young man said with a smile. Old man, you saved our lives. If you have any difficulties, just say it. The person in Huaxia who can touch our old man hasn't been born yet. The red-haired boy said loudly. Grandpa, who is it? There's no one in Huaxia who can make you say that the Gu family is in trouble. What is it that made you, the leader of the special ability group in Huaxia, look like you're facing a great enemy? A girl in her 20s asked softly. You all know Gu Shang and you all have heard of Gu Lai. My 2 grandsons aren't good people, this old man admits. However, no matter how bad they are, it's my Gu family's business to punish them. Now, someone has actually made Gu Lai a cuckold. These people will soon come to the Gu family to find trouble with Gu Shang. Where am I supposed to put my old face? Gu Zhulei said loudly. Old man, I thought it was something big. Is the person who came a special ability group or wuxio? Leave as many as you come. Leave this matter to us. Some people won't cause trouble in the future only if we hurt them. A young man in his 30s said loudly. The others nodded. T-Rex group. More than 100 people came this time. They won't be easy to deal with. Gu Zhulei said softly. So it's those ignorant soldiers on the mountain. They are just some self-righteous wuxio. Leave this matter to us. A young man with a short stature said softly. So it's wuxio. Then we'll leave them all in the Gu family. Lei Jin, the tallest guy among the 108 people, said loudly. A trace of ruthlessness appeared in his eyes. T-Rex group isn't simple. I don't want anything to happen to any of you. If you can avoid conflict with them, try not to. I only want that guy called Guapai. He must die. Gu Zhulei said loudly. If that's the case, then it's even easier. Old man, just wait. Aren't they coming soon? Let's go and deal with them now. The triplet brothers, Zhou Qingshan, Zhou Qingyun, and Zhou Qinghai, finished speaking and looked at the others. They all nodded lightly. Let's go and meet them. After Zhou Qinghai finished speaking, Gu Zhulei nodded and the 8 of them disappeared from the house. I thought it was something big. Old man, just wait for Dahai and the others. 8 space experts dealing with a few soldiers is not difficult. Lei Jin said with a smile. Brother Jin, if more than 100 people are Xiantian experts, Dahai and the others might not be able to deal with them. Let's be prepared. If Dahai and the others can't deal with these people, we'll have a backup plan. A man in a long robe said with a smile. Zhuge Qian's special ability was a 15-fold gravitational field within 50 meters. Dealing with an ordinary mid-stage Xiantian expert was not a problem. It's best if we can't deal with them. I haven't fought with anyone for 3 years. My hands are itching. The red-haired Huatu said with a smile. Unexpectedly, many people agreed with his word. Old man, why are you still looking so serious? We're hungry. We can't be hungry while we fight with them. Get us something to eat. A big guy said with a smile. Everyone in the room burst into laughter. At this time, Gu Zhulei's complexion finally looked better. Tyrannosaurus group, so what? Today, I will let the people of the imperial capital know, let the people of China know that our special ability group is the real backing of China. Chapter 201. Brother Xing, Uncle Jiang, slow down your car. Brother Gu Fian, stop your car first. Trouble is coming. I'll deal with a few interesting guys first. When the 8 ability users appeared 100 meters in front of Guopai's jeep, Guopai used the walkie-talkie to inform the 4 military vehicles behind him. Brother, do I need to get out of the car? Niuming felt a bit uncomfortable sitting in the car. He originally thought that his Xiantian realm was awesome, but when he thought about it, there were nearly 150 people in the 4 military vehicles behind him. The weakest among them was at the same realm as him. If they really fought, he wouldn't be a match for them. Now that Guopai said that it was a bit troublesome and asked the 4 vehicles behind him to wait, what was the point of him following them with his strength? How can I watch brother's wonderful performance when I get out of the car? Without an audience, it's boring to perform by myself. Guopai said with a smile. Stay in the car. You want to stop this young master with just 8 ability users? Why don't you treat this young master as a dish? I'm angry, I'm really angry. Guopai said angrily. Niuming's face had already changed. According to common sense, 8 ability users should be able to deal with 16 mid-stage Xiantian expert. Wasn't he courting death by following them? Brother Hai, the person in the car seems to have discovered us. Zhou Qinyan frowned. The other party wasn't easy to deal with. The 8 of them were in his yuan space, yet they were discovered by the other party. Not necessarily. We're getting closer and closer to the Gu family. Maybe he's a bit more cautious. Let's not be careless. You guys wait here, I'll go and meet him first. After Zhou Qinghai finished speaking, his figure flashed and appeared in front of Guopai's car. Guopai's car was still driving, but the speed was already very slow. When Zhou Qinghai appeared in front of the car, Guopai had already felt his presence. However, he still acted as if nothing had happened and leisurely drove forward. He didn't discover me. I thought he was really an expert. Zhou Qinghai smiled. Let's deal with this early-stage Xiantian expert first. Niu Go, help me get it. Just as Zhou Qinghai fused his space with Niumeng's space for the second time, Guopai gently pushed Niumeng and directly dodged it. Zhou Qinghai gawked. What a coincidence, he dodged it. When Zhou Qinghai made his second move, this time, Niumeng was pulled into Zhou Qinghai's space. Who are you? Where is this place? Niumeng asked nervously. Originally, he could see the buildings on both sides of the road from the car. Suddenly, everything disappeared. He only felt that he was in a foggy space, and a young man was standing in front of him. You're Guopai's hired thug, aren't you? You've followed the wrong person. Deal with it yourself, or I'll make sure you die a horrible death. Zhou Qinghai said with a smile. Zhou Qinghai was at the early Xiantian realm, and he was trapped in his own space. He had countless ways to kill Niumeng. I have no enmity with you. Why do you want to kill me? Let me out. Niumeng said loudly. The internal strength in his body had already filled his meridians, and he was ready to fight Zhou Qinghai at any time. Zhou Qinghai looked at Niumeng's expression and couldn't help but laugh. Stupid big guy, you want to fight me in my space? What a big fool. Are you very smart? Just as Zhou Qinghai looked at Niumeng and cursed him in his heart, a voice entered his mind. Zhou Qinghai couldn't help but shiver. Who is it? Who entered my space? I don't even know. Self-created space. What an interesting ability. Guopai appeared in Zhou Qinghai's space. The thick fog disappeared without a trace the moment Guopai appeared. Impossible. How can you enter my space? You're obviously still in the first space. How can you find me? Zhou Qinghai didn't believe that Yi Shiwen could break his space. The kid in front of him was only at the late Xiantian realm. Impossible, absolutely impossible. I didn't enter your space. You're the one who's been in my space. Didn't you notice? You came into my space and took Brother Meng away. You're not giving me any face. Guopai said with a smile. You're also a space ability user? Zhou Qinghai was stunned. He tried to rush out of Guopai's space, but he knew that he was finished. With his understanding of space, he couldn't shake Guopai's space in the slightest. In fact, how would Zhou Qinghai know? What space ability users? Guopao didn't need to create a two-dimensional space. In this space, he could do whatever he wanted. Immortals, although banished immortals, how could ability users like you deal with them? Do you want to inform your partners? If you want, I'll let them come in. Guopai said with a smile. Then, the other 7 people appeared in front of Zhou Qinghai. Brother Hai, is it done? Zhou Qingyun asked in a low voice the moment he saw Zhou Qinghai. Zhou Qinghai's face was ashen. Now he knew that the 7 people who came with him didn't notice Guopai's existence. In other words, Guopai didn't break their space at all and pulled them in together. Such strength was far beyond their understanding of space. Dahai, tell us, what's the situation now? Where's that kid? We couldn't feel his aura just now. Another space ability user asked loudly. Can you feel it now? Guopai appeared in front of the 8 people with a blade of grass in his mouth, and asked with a smile. Who are you? What do you want? Zhou Qinghai stopped the people who were about to speak and calmly asked Guopai. You want to deal with me, but you ask me who I am? Isn't it funny? I'm Guopai, the Hall Master of Bagyaku, the person Gu Zhulei wants to deal with. My wife was taken away by that kid from the Gu family, and now you ask me who I am? Haha, interesting, are you all idiots? Guopai said loudly. Don't you know that they took my woman and threatened me? This makes me feel like I'm losing face. Zhou Qinghai and the others couldn't say a word. They looked at Guopai's exaggerated expression. Yes, we came to deal with him, but now we're being eaten by him. Let us go, we'll leave the Gu family in the future and follow you. One of the ability users couldn't help but say. That's right, he wasn't even 30 years old. At the age of 13, he was recognized by the space and became a space ability user. If he died like this, it wouldn't be worth it. Bang! No one saw clearly what happened. The young man's head was like a ripe watermelon that was smashed to the ground and shattered. One of the ability users beside him couldn't help but vomit. Niumeng, who wasn't far away, also felt his stomach churning. I hate traitors the most. The 7 of you won't be like him, right? Guopai looked at the remaining 7 people and said angrily. The 7 people looked at Guopai, but no one answered. What do you want? You can't kill us. You're still far from being able to deal with the Gu family, Zhou Qinghai said loudly. Do you know what I hate the most besides traitors? That's the enemy. Be a good boy in your next life. After saying that, the heads of the 7 people exploded at the same time. Niumeng couldn't help but vomit. Chapter 202. Uncle Ao, Brother Xing, Brother Gu Fian, keep up with the cars. Let's go, Guopai said into the walkie-talkie. The 5 cars once again sped towards the Gu family. Cough, cough, cough. Pervert, bad brother. You are a complete pervert. If you want to kill them, just kill them. Why do you have to be so disgusting? Niumeng gulped down a bottle of water and coughed a few times. Disgusting. Didn't you notice how beautiful it was when their heads exploded just now? Guopai said with a smile. In the face of provocation, I only want to kill. The Gu family is not the first, and will not be the last. Niumeng's heart trembled when he heard that. Fortunately, he was friends with Guopai. This little brother who was a few years younger than him was not ordinary. Why aren't Dahai and the others back yet? If they can't handle it, don't force yourself. There are so many of us here. A big guy stood up and said softly. The 8 of them all have spatial abilities. If they can't fight, they can just hide. Nothing will happen. Huatu said with a smile. I'll go take a look. If I don't come back in 10 minutes, then I'll die outside. After saying that, Huatu disappeared from the house. Gu Zhulei frowned. Old man, you're still worried. If the 108 generals can't stop that kid and the T-Rex group, then you don't have to be the group leader anymore. Our group can just be disbanded, Gu Shang said with a smile. It's better to be safe than sorry. I'll give Nangong Mouse a call. After saying that, Gu Zhulei walked into the house by himself. Brother Gu, if there's anything, just say it. I've heard a lot about the skeletons recently, Nangong Mouse said into the phone with a smile. It's nothing much. It's just the matter of the auction a few days ago. Let's not beat around the bush. I'm sure you know that Bugyaka's hall master, Guapai, is looking for trouble with my Gu clan. If you want to get a share of the good stuff, then get your Nangong family's 36 guards to come over and help me, Gu Zhulei said with a smile. Brother Gu, our Nangong family's 36 guards are all small fries. That Guapai contacted the Tyrannosaurus Rex group this time. Our Nangong family's people aren't up to par. Our Nangong family can't get a share of this delicious soup even if we want to, Nangong Mouse said with a smile. Gu Zhulei was stunned. This didn't seem like Nangong Mouse style. Could it be that this old fart also thinks that we can't beat this Guapai this time? An ominous premonition shrouded Gu Zhulei's heart. Brother, there's something I need to tell you. A few days ago, that disappointing grandson of mine went to Wu Castle and might have gotten into a dispute with Little Lingma. Is Little Lingma okay? I'll definitely ask Gu Shang to apologize to you another day, Gu Zhulei said softly. They're all young people. It's not a big deal. Lingma is a member of your special ability group. It's an internal conflict. You can solve it internally, Nangong Mouse said with a smile. Brother Gu, I'll talk to you later. I have something to do here. A few disappointing brats got a little girl pregnant. I have to deal with it. Gu Zhulei hung up the phone. He was even more suspicious. Could it be that this Guapai had already settled the Nangong family? Gu Zhulei then made a few phone calls. Gu Zhulei couldn't sit still. The Xianyuan family didn't care much about the matters in the capital. It was fine if they didn't care, but the heads of the other families all rejected Gu Zhulei's invitation. Since they don't want to be enemies with this brat, they must be afraid of the sect behind this brat. Then, my Gu family will settle it ourselves this time. It's best if we can keep him alive to get some elixirs. If we can't, we'll just kill this brat directly. No matter how powerful the T-Rex group is, I don't believe that a group of Wu Xiu can defeat 108 generals, Gu Zhulei said fiercely. Another one. How boring. The moment Huatu appeared, Guapai said softly. The car didn't slow down at all. With a wave of his hand, Huatu was already sitting in the back of the car. You're also a special ability user? A space special ability? Huatu was stunned. When he saw that he was already sitting in the car, he couldn't help but ask. No wonder Dahai and the others didn't come back. This brat's space special ability was the strongest he had ever seen. To be able to pull him into the car without making a sound, it was too terrifying. Gu Zhulei asked you to come, right? 108 Generals Tuesday. The Gu family sure has a big lineup, Guapai said with a smile. Huatu was completely stunned. There were 108 of them, and the number of people in Huaxia who knew about them could be counted on one hand. This brat in front of him actually said it out loud. Don't be nervous. Just relax. We don't have 108 generals anymore. If you don't die, we can still gather 3 digits. But you can give it a try. You play with fire. You should have heard of the term playing with fire, right? Guapai continued. Who exactly are you? Huatu couldn't help but ask. You came to kill me, and now you're asking me who I am? Don't you think this question is funny? Guapai said with a smile. You'll know who I am when we reach the Gu family. We'll reach the Hua family in 10 minutes. I know you want to make a move, and I told you just now. You can give it a try. Guapai continued. The small flame in Huatu's hand suddenly grew to 30 centimeters, and flew directly towards Guapai's head. It was more than a meter away, and no one would be able to react in time. I told you, playing with fire is a joke, but you didn't believe me. Guopai finished speaking. I hate people like you the most. Sneak attacks from behind. Since you want to die, then die. The flame in Huatu's hand didn't hit Guopai's body. Instead, his fiery red head was ignited, and then his whole body was ignited in the back seat. What shocked Niumeng was that he couldn't feel the temperature of the flame on Huatu's body. What was even stranger was that when Huatu started burning, the decorations in the car didn't change at all. Playing with fire with me? I played with Taishang Laojun for tens of thousands of years. If I can't beat you, then I'll just die. Guopai said in his heart. Niumeng was completely stunned by this little brother of his. Going to the home of Hua Xia's special ability group leader was much better than telling the senior colonels to take responsibility for the consequences. Grandpa, Huatu hasn't returned yet. 15 minutes had passed, and there was still no news from Huatu and Zhou Qinghai. Gu Shang looked at Gu Zhulei coming out of the house and said softly, "Did something really happen to Huatu?" "I don't know. This time, I'm afraid that the T-Rex group has sent experts to follow Guopai. It seems that Guopai has reached some kind of agreement with the T-Rex group. Yesterday, someone from the T-Rex group broke through to the Xiantian realm. It seems that this kid gave the T-Rex group some benefit." Gu Zhulei said softly. "We'll deal with whatever comes our way. I don't believe that we can't deal with a group of Wuxiu's soldiers." A young man said loudly. "Patriarch, in about 5 minutes, 4 military vehicles will arrive at our Gu family's residence." A young man from the Gu family ran to Gu Zhulei's residence, and was shocked by the number of people in the house. "Open the door and wait for them. What will come will come. Today, I want to see if this Guopai has 3 heads and 6 arms," Gu Zhulei said loudly. Chapter 203. It's really impressive. This place is not bad. After we settle the Gu family, this place will be Bugyaku's branch in the imperial capital. Haha. Guopai said with a smile. Niumeng stared at Guopai with wide eyes. This young master's ambition was not small. He wanted to take down the Gu family and turn their headquarters into his own property. He was probably the only person in the entire Huaxia who dared to say such a thing. "Brother Meng, do you think I'm a bit of a windbreaker?" Guopai asked with a smile. "What's windbreaker?" Niumeng was stunned and asked in a low voice. "It means bragging." Guopai said with a smile, "Brother Meng, I originally wanted to make things clear to them. After all, I was also at fault for some things. Let nature take its course when it comes to matters between men and women. In the beginning, I didn't know that my wife had an engagement with the Gu family. However, the things that happened recently were all the Gu family's fault. I was about to go to the imperial capital to make things clear to them, but they actually captured my wife and brought her to the imperial capital, and not just one. Tell me, if they do this, where can I put my face?" "Ahem, brother, I still have the same idea as before. Let's see if we can resolve this peacefully. The Gu family has been in the imperial capital for thousands of years, and they have some foundation. There's no need to make things too stiff. If they are at fault, let them apologize. If they kill everyone in the special ability group, it will be a big loss for Huaxia. It won't be long before the special ability gathering. At that time, Huaxia will be at a disadvantage," Niumeng said in a low voice. "Then I'll listen to Brother Meng. I hope my wife didn't suffer any grievances. Otherwise, I will definitely make the Gu family restless." Guopai opened the car door and walked straight into the Gu family's residence. Brother, I'm Xing Tian. Wait for us." The military truck that Xing Tian, Jiang Ao, and the other 3 were in arrived more than 10 seconds later than Guopai. When Xing Tian saw that Guopai had already walked into the Gu family's residence, he couldn't help but speak loudly into the walkie-talkie. "Brother Xing, just follow me in. The door is open. I'll go in and rest for a while." Guopai smiled and said into the walkie-talkie. After he finished speaking, he took off the walkie-talkie and threw it at a rockery in the Gu family's courtyard. With a bang, the walkie-talkie turned into powder and the rockery collapsed. "Are the people of the Gu family all turtles? You asked this young master to come. This young master is already here. Come out and meet this young master," Guo Pao said loudly. Every corner of the Gu family's mansion could hear him clearly. "Don't go out. The patriarch has ordered that no one is allowed to go." In a large house in the backyard of the Gu family, 81 youths heard Guo Pai's voice and were about to find Guo Pai to settle the score. These youths were all ability users, but they were stopped by an old man. "Grandfather, we've been locked up since yesterday. Who is the person who came? Could it be that our Gu family is afraid of him?" A 12 or 13-year-old youth asked the old man loudly. "Don't worry about it. Follow me out of the capital through the secret passage and go to the East Sea." The old man narrowed his eyes and said, "If the Gu family can't escape this calamity, you can escape. At least you are the hope of the Gu family." "We swear to live and die with the Gu family," someone in the crowd shouted, and the other 80 youths began to echo. At this moment, Guo Pai looked at the house in the backyard. The old man suddenly felt an inexplicable pressure and shouted, "Leave quickly. If you can't escape, you will be the sinners of the Gu family." "It's too late." A voice sounded in the house. The 81 youths suddenly saw an illusory figure appear in the house. If it wasn't Guo Pai, who else could it be? "You are Guo Pai? Impossible. Your strength is only at the late stage of the Xiantian realm. Even if you are an ability user, you can't use the power of space to this extent. How did you do it?" The old man looked at Guo Pai's illusory figure and asked loudly. "You know quite a lot. Since you can see that I am at the late stage of the Xiantian realm, and that the old man has already broken through to the Xiantian realm, don't you know that some things should be taken care of and some things that shouldn't be taken care of? Wu Xiu's path is long and heavy. There is no room for any carelessness or distraction. You are thinking too much." Guo Pai looked at the old man and said, "Little you, it is better to squash enmity than keep it alive. I don't know who your teacher is, but do you really want to fight to the death with the Gu family?" The old man looked at Guo Pai's illusory figure and said softly, "I don't know if the fish will die, but this young master's net has always been very strong." Guo Pai said softly, "The old man is more reasonable than that Gu Zhenlei. However, if you make a mistake, you should be punished. Don't you think so? If you don't get the punishment you deserve, then sooner or later you will make a bigger mistake. I will go with you to find Zhenlei. What grudges do you have with the Gu family? How about we talk face to face?" The old man said, unwilling to give up. "Old man, after saying so much, you just want to stall for time and find this kid's weakness. Then you can kill this kid in one blow. Everyone says that the Gu family will seek revenge for the smallest grievance. I didn't believe it at first, but now I do." After Guo Pai finished speaking, a short sword emitting green light suddenly appeared in the old man's hand and directly stabbed towards Guo Pai's illusory figure. "Kid, whether this is your illusory figure or your real body, since you came to provoke the Gu family, then you can stay in the Gu family." The old man who had been giving in suddenly pulled out his sword and stabbed towards the illusory figure. Guo Pai's illusory figure frowned. The sword in the old man's hand had some trick. "Evil and crooked path, break for me." Guo Pai did not dare to be careless. The flying sword flew out from his body and directly faced the green light short sword. When the two swords collided, Guo Pai was shocked. Although the short sword was knocked down, the flying sword no longer had any aura. This flying sword that had followed him for thousands of years was broken just like that. "Old man, you deserve to die. All of you deserve to die. Evil and crooked path, even if I kill all of you, there won't be any karma," Guo Pai said. The pirated sky flipping seal in his hand directly smashed towards the old man. With a bang, the old man died. Guapai's whole body trembled. Using the pirated sky flipping seal had a big impact on him. Pooh! Guapai, who was originally standing motionless in the courtyard, suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. Niomeng, who was prepared to watch the show, quickly supported Guapai. Brother Guapai was fine just now. Why did he suddenly spit out blood? This Gu family was indeed not ordinary. How could Niomeng know that Guapai had just experienced a life and death battle, so he did not dare to be careless again. A bunch of little brats, you should be the last hope of the Gu family. Since Gu Zhulei took my wife as a hostage, then I won't be polite. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, blood for blood in exchange for a head, ha. Guapai's illusory figure returned to Niomeng's side from that space. A moment later, 81 tied up tightly appeared behind him, giving Niomeng a big fright. Ah! Brother, who are these people? They are all children, where did you get them? Niomeng asked in shock. Children? Brother Meng, I will let one of them out to spar with you. I'm afraid you won't even know how you died. Guapai looked at the 81 children and said with a smile. If looks could kill, Guapai would have been killed countless times by these 81 children. The world is bustling for profit. Gu Zhulei, what do you want? Tell me your thoughts. Guapai's mind-reading ability fell on Gu Zhulei. He already knew what Gu Zhulei wanted to do. However, the people from the Violent Dragon Group were also here today. Guapai was not going to let this matter rest. Little Bad, why are you wasting time with this old guy? What Gu clan's engagement contract? You just took a piece of paper and said that she was the daughter-in-law of the Gu clan. Then, should I write a piece of paper and let you put your handprints on it? Then, the Gu clan will belong to me, Xing Tian? Xing Tian said loudly. When the Violent Dragon Group came to the imperial capital, the Dragon King had only said one sentence. Do your best. If there is any trouble, the Violent Dragon Group will take over. Now, if they wanted to resolve this peacefully, it seemed that Guapai would be at a disadvantage. This would not do. I am talking to Guapai. Who are you? How dare you yell in the Gu clan's residence? Gu Zhulei looked at Xing Tian. Just a late-stage Xiantian. If he was dealing with an ordinary person, he would definitely be able to suppress them. However, this was the Gu clan's residence, the headquarters of Hua Xia's Special Ability Group. Who were you trying to scare by yelling here? Old man, what's wrong with yelling in the Gu clan's residence? Today, not only do we want to yell, we also want to take over the Gu clan. It just so happens that the Violent Dragon Group is lacking a place to stay in the imperial capital. Gu Yun stepped forward and said loudly. Old man, do you still remember me? My surname is also F** King Gu. Surname Gu? Gu Zhao's grandson? That brat who was expelled from the Gu clan 10 years ago actually joined the Violent Dragon Group. No wonder he is so arrogant now. Gu Zhulei looked at him. Arrogant? Speaking of arrogance, I am far from third grandpa. Back then, because of the dirty things your good grandson did outside, I was expelled from the Gu clan. I still remember third grandpa's words. Get out of the Gu clan. If I see you again, I will take your life. Now that I am here, why aren't you taking action? Where is Gu Lai? Gu Yun said loudly. You are only at the Xiantian realm. You sure talk big. After the matter between Grandpa and Guapai is settled, I will leave your life in the Gu clan. Gu Shang stepped forward and said loudly. Brother Gu, Brother Xing, I will talk to Gu Zhulei first and see how arrogant the Gu clan is. If we can't come to an agreement, we will play with the Gu clan. Guapai said with a smile. Gu Zhulei's face darkened again. 30 snow muscle pills, 10 youth retaining pill, 10 meridian clearing pills, and 50 pills. Give us the pills and I will give you the person. 50 pills in exchange for a wife and the child in her belly. You are suitable. Gu Zhulei said with a smile. Too little, too little. Do you think my wife and child are only worth 50 pills? If I were you, I would ask for at least 1,000 pills. Don't you want the wine? Guopai said with narrowed eyes. It is indeed a little too little. Give me another 50 jin of the wine you auctioned the other day. Gu Zhulei said loudly. Haha, fine. I agree to your conditions. I have the pills on me now. I can satisfy you. After saying that, Guopai brought out a jade bottle. On a piece of beast skin, 50 pills were neatly arranged. There was also a huge jar. Everyone stared with wide eyes. Storage divine artifact. This kid must have a storage divine artifact on him. I am giving these things to your Gu clan. Gu Zhulei, don't you dare to come and take them? Guopai said with narrowed eyes. Gu Zhulei looked at Gu Shang, who nodded gently. With a flash, all the items appeared before Gu Zhulei. Wife, I have made you suffer. Come over here first. Guopai said with a smile. Lin Shuang and Sun Lingling looked at Gu Zhulei. Gu Zhulei nodded gently at the surrounding people. Then, the two of them quickly walked to stand behind Guopai. Little you, it is better to squash enmity than to keep it alive. Today's matter is over. What do you think? Gu Zhulei said with a smile. He was very satisfied. He thought that there would be a big battle. He did not expect it to end like this. Just as the people from the T-Rex group were about to speak, Guopai stretched out his hand to stop them. He looked at Gu Zhulei with a smile. Over? I have satisfied all your requests. Now that you want to let it go, shouldn't you listen to my request first? Only after you satisfy my request can you let it go? Today, the Dragon King asked so many brothers from the T-Rex group to come with me. If I let it go like this, where will I put my face? Guopai said with narrowed eyes. Gu Zhulei could not help but shiver. It seemed that he had thought too simply. Chapter 206. After Gu Shang's death, the Gu family's mansion slowly lit up. Xing Tian, Jiang Ao, and the other three saw Guopai standing in front of them. They then carefully checked the soldiers they brought. The loud noise just now was terrifying, but they were all fine. Guopai, the Gu family will fight you to the death. Gu Zhulei looked at the pile of meat on the ground and shouted at Guopai. However, a moment later, Gu Zhulei squatted on the ground. The remaining 99 of the 108 soldiers behind him were all dead. Fight me to the death? If it wasn't for me, it wouldn't take 30 years. Once these people with the great demon bloodline grew up, the Gu family would be completely finished. The entire Hua Xia would be finished, and you still want to fight me to the death? Guopai said loudly. The great demon aura on these children has been taken away by that guy when he escaped. Now they are truly part of the Gu family. Everyone looked at the 81 people behind Guopai. The youths who were in high spirits just now were all lying on the ground weakly with dull eyes. Gu Zhulei, do you have anything to say now? Don't play dead. Stand up, Guopai said loudly. If you want to play dead, you'll have to settle the score with me first. It's over. The Gu family is finished. Do whatever you want. Gu Zhulei's hair instantly turned white. He looked at the 81 people behind Guopai and whispered, It's over. The Gu family is finished. It's over in my hands. Lin Shuang walked to Guopai's side and reached out to grab Guopai, who was about to say something. She did not expect this young man in front of her to be so powerful. Facing the leader of Hua Xia's special ability group and the number 1 family in the capital, the Gu family, he not only came to save her, but also did something earth-shattering. However, since the Gu family was already in such a state, she felt that there was no need to do anything to them. Jiang Ao, Xing Tian, and the others also nodded. The Gu family was finished. The Gu family would take over Hua Xia's special ability group, and it was time for Gu Zhulei to give up his position as leader. Grandpa! Gu Lai, who had rushed into the courtyard out of nowhere, bellowed at the white-haired Gu Gulei. He then shifted his gaze to Lin Shuang. B***tch, as the daughter-in-law of the Gu family, you actually seduced a wild man outside and even got pregnant with his bastard child. Now you actually let this wild man come to the Gu family to behave atrociously. Lin Shuang, you B***tch, so you like young men. You like to eat young grass, right? Gu Lai said fiercely. Even Gu Layla could not hold him back. Trash will always be trash. Heaven and earth are heartless, treating all living things as straw dogs. Someone like you isn't even worthy of being a straw dog. I haven't settled my debt with your Gu clan. It's fine if you scold me, but you dare to scold my woman? Go to hell. Guopai said softly. With a tap of his finger, Gu Lai was shocked. Gu Gulei had already appeared in front of Gu Lai. Let Lai go. This old man will settle the matter of the Gu clan for you, Gu Gulei said softly. At that moment, Gu Gulei suddenly felt his body brimming with power. How could the special ability team leader not have an ability? Gu Gulei's ability was also spatial. Furthermore, Gu Gulei was also a wuxiu. When he was pleading for leniency, he seemed to have comprehended something in his heart. He had broken through to the enlightened realm and was now a true powerhouse in the fasting period. Fasting period, Guopai said softly. Gu Gulei immediately stood in front of Guopai. Confidence, the lost confidence had returned once again. Guopai, let Gu Lai go. The Gu clan is at fault for the recent matters, but we have already paid a heavy price. Take the Lin family's girl and your wife away. I won't see you off, Gu Gulei said loudly as he pulled Gu Lai up. Ha ha ha, Gu Gulei, did your confidence explode after breaking through to the fasting period? Guopai asked with a laugh. Guopai, you are very strong, but I don't mind giving it a try. I don't believe that I can't defeat a late-stage Xiantian expert in the fasting period, Gu Gulei said loudly. Don't force me. Gu Lai, leave an arm behind. This Gu clan's courtyard will belong to the Guo clan from now on. You guys can leave before I change my mind, Guopai said softly. Niumeng pulled Guopai to the side. The fasting period was 2 realms higher than the Xiantian stage. If they really fought, Guopai definitely wouldn't have any trouble. Although Guopai had defeated the great demon bloodline Guyu, no one had seen the great demon before. No one knew how strong he was. However, the old man standing in front of Guopai was a true fasting expert. Brother, forget it. If this Gu Gulei is really in the fasting period, I'm afraid that we won't be able to defeat him even with the help of the tyrannical dragon group, Niumeng said softly. We've already gotten back our face today. Guopai looked at the confident Gu Gulei and the resentful Gu Lai and shook his head gently. Brother Meng, if the person who came to the Gu clan today was not me, but an ordinary wuxiu, do you think the Gu clan would let him go? If you don't walk the righteous path, you will become a demon after crossing the tribulation. Brat, since you want to kill us all, don't blame this old man for being impolite. As soon as his voice fell, Gu Gulei punched towards Guopai without any fancy moves. No one dared to block it. No one even saw what was going on with this punch. What a powerful fist technique. What a perverted fist wind. Kong Fei, who was standing in the group, said softly. Even though he was in the Xiantian realm, he could only see the afterimage of Gu Gulei's punch. Unrepentant, Guopai said softly. With a turn of his body, Gu Gulei walked past him. Guopai backhandedly hit the back of Gu Gulei's head with a knife. Gu Zhulei dodged the attack, but a silver needle pierced Gu Zhulei's neck. What did you do to me? Gu Gulei suddenly realized that he couldn't release his inner strength, and asked loudly. You should know that I'm a doctor. With my Xiantian realm, I definitely can't defeat an expert in the fasting period like you. However, since I said that I'll take over the Gu clan and take Gu Lai's arm, I have to do it. My 2 wives are looking at me. If I can't do it, it'll be too embarrassing. As Guopai spoke, He held the short sword that the old man from the Gu clan had used to sneak attack him. With a flash of the sword, Gu Lu's right arm was separated from his body. Gu Lai didn't even feel any pain at that moment. However, almost 3 seconds later, the Gu clan's courtyard let out a pig-like scream. "Guopai, you're ruthless. One day, I'll kill you." Gu Gulay couldn't control his emotions and shouted loudly. "Maybe in your next life. I hate it when people threaten me. Also, Guopai, said that it's best to give me what belongs to me, Guopai." Guopai said softly. Gu Gulay's eyes widened, but his head was already separated from his body. "Brothers, the matter of suppressing the situation has been settled. You guys clean up. Gather everyone from the Gu clan here and confiscate their property. The Gu clan will belong to the Guo clan from now on." Guopai said loudly, "Pretty wife, little wife, follow big brother Xing over there. The elders of your 2 clans are over there. Lingling, you go." "I won't go," Lin Shuang said softly. Guopai naturally knew why. She had arranged a marriage for him and sold her granddaughter in exchange for business. Chapter 207. This was the most shocking thing that had happened in the imperial capital in the past 1,000 years. The Gu clan, which had remained unshakable even after so many changes of dynasties, was uprooted by Guopai. From now on, the Gu clan no longer existed in the imperial capital. Xingtian, am I dreaming? The Gu clan is finished. The Gu clan is finished. The Gu clan's second young master, who didn't even hold back in front of the number 1 chief, is dead. The Gu clan's second young master, who could get whatever he wanted in those clubs in the imperial capital, is also finished. A late Xiantian expert killing a fasting expert. Brother Guopai is too powerful. His ability has completely exceeded our understanding. When I first met him at Baolong Mountain, I was still bragging about him. Xing Tian said in a soft voice. 15 minutes later, nearly 1,000 members of the Gu family were brought to the courtyard by the members of the Tyrannosaurus group. Most of them did not know what had happened, but Gu Gulay's decapitated body in the courtyard made them feel that the Gu family was finished. "Brother Sun, is third grandpa dead?" A youth of the Gu clan whispered to the youth beside him. "Are you blind? His head has already been decapitated. How can he still be alive? But he deserves it. Their bloodline has been tormenting us all these years. If he's dead, then so be it. The Gu clan will be peaceful in the future," the youth said in a soft voice. "These soldiers seem to be very powerful. Why do I feel that with third grandpa dead, we won't have a good ending either?" the youth said again. The youth's face also started to turn ugly. "Gu clan. As long as you had some relationship with this name, you could do whatever you wanted in the imperial capital. Over 1,000 disciples of the Gu clan saw the head of the Gu clan being decapitated. Some were afraid, some were panicking, some were secretly delighted, some were sad, some were helpless, and some were rejoicing. There were all kinds of emotions in the world. However, everyone had a big question in their hearts. What exactly had happened to the Gu clan? The Gu clan is finished. You will be put on trial. Guopai slowly stood up and said to the 1,000 people of the Gu clan. Everyone's gaze fell on Guopai. He's the hall master of Bugyaku from Wu Castle that day at the auction. He's the one who auctioned the pill at a sky-high price. Could it be that the clan master offended him? A youth of the Gu clan said softly. Gu Julay wanted to kill me, but he lost. Since he lost, he had to pay the price. He paid with his life. Guopai smiled as he said, I can give you all a choice. Come and kill me. If you kill me, the Gu family will still be your Gu family. Everyone looked at the young man in front of them. It was impossible for him to be related to Gu Julay's death. Who was Gu Julay? He was the leader of Hua Xia's special ability group. He had been famous for decades, and it was difficult to find a match in the capital. This young man actually said that Gu Zhulei had lost, and it seemed like he was the one who killed him. You guys are smarter than Gu Zhulei. Haha, since that's the case, I'll begin the trial, Guopai said softly. Members of the Tyrannosaurus group, listen up. Those who commit crimes will be sentenced to death. Those who commit crimes will have their dantian crippled. Those who commit crimes will be sent to the Imperial Capital Prison to be locked up for 5 years. Guopai said softly. Xingtian, Jiang Ao, and the others nodded, but no one from the Gu clan could remain calm any longer. The Tyrannosaurus Rex group. No wonder the aura of these soldiers was so terrifying. You. Guopai pointed out 37 people consecutively. Those who were pointed out had pale faces. They began to recall what they had done all these years and why they were called out. Guopai, on the other hand, looked at them expressionlessly. 37 people who commit crimes should be punished. Guopai said loudly. Half of the 37 people immediately collapsed to the ground. No, how are we evil? We're just a small disciple of the Gu clan. What right do you have to judge us like this? Who can give you such power? A young man said loudly. A few people who did not collapse to the ground echoed him loudly. Gu Hu, 33 years old. No less than 10 people have died in your hotel in the past 7 years. Have I wronged you by judging you as evil? Guopai said softly. When that girl was brutally dismembered by you and your subordinates last month, did you not think that you would end up like this? Gu Hu's face was ashen. His business rivals were all killed by him in the Gu clan's hotel chain. However, these things were done very secretly. How did this Guopai know about it? Gu Hu could not understand. What about you guys? Do you still need me to list out your crimes one by one? Guopai narrowed his eyes and asked the other 36 people loudly. Although I've made many mistakes, I've never killed anyone. Why am I judged as evil? There are many people in the Gu clan who have done more wrong than me. Why? I'm only 24 years old. I don't want to die. The only woman among the 37 people who collapsed to the ground suddenly stood up and said loudly. Gu Yu, do you need me to say it? Lu Yuan, Wang Baoshan, Su Zixiao, Shao Qian, Zhou Xuani, Shi Saiken. Do you still need me to say the other names? You didn't kill them, but they're all dead. Not just one person, but an entire family is done for. What else do you want? Being beautiful is not the right thing to play with others. Some men deserve to die. However, which one of these 6 men deserves to die? Tell me. Tell me one, and I'll spare your life. Guopai said loudly. Gu Yu collapsed to the ground again. The faces of those people flashed in her mind again and again. Her pupils dilated. She ended her life in a way that she could never have imagined. I know this Gu Yu. I've seen her once in the Huatian Club. However, I drank a lot that day. Otherwise, I don't know what would have happened between us. Niuming said with his eyes wide open. It turned out that the inexplicable suicides of those young men in the capital were all related to this woman. None of the remaining 35 people continued to stand up. Some of them still had evil and remorse on their faces, but most of them were calm. Guopai shook his head slightly. Xing Tian looked at the soldiers behind him. Then, the 36 disciples of the Gu clan lost their lives. No, you're just a doctor in Wu Castle. What right do you have to judge the people of the Gu clan? You're not qualified. I won't accept your judgment. A young man shouted loudly. His veins were popping out. 37 disciples of the Gu clan were sentenced to death by him. Although he knew what would happen to him, why should the lives of the Gu clan be controlled by an outsider? He refused to accept it. Gu Xing, Gu Lai, Gu Xiaoyun, Gu Weiguang, Gu Kuang. There were more people this time. 230 people. Guopai said 2 words loudly. Then, more than 100 members of the Violent Dragon Group walked through the crowd like lightning. When the members of the Violent Dragon Group stood up neatly again, the 230 disciples of the Gu clan were all sitting on the ground. 230 people, including Wu Xiu and 47 people. They naturally understood what it meant to have their Dantian destroyed. However, most of them only felt that their Dantian was cold. It was not a big deal. They even felt a little happy in their hearts. "Brother Xing, we're fine. The trial is over, right?" A young man asked Gu Xing in a low voice. "Get out of here. The reason why the Gu clan is here today is because of your third grandpa. If it wasn't for him, the Gu clan wouldn't have come this far. Get out of here. Don't make me kill you," Gu Xing said. He had been cultivating hard for 18 years and had just stepped into the middle stage of the Hotian realm. Today, everything was over. He thought about the days when he could do whatever he wanted in the imperial capital with his middle stage Hotian strength. The 435 people were sentenced to minor crimes. Jiang Ao made a call. About 30 minutes later, the parking lot 3 miles away from the Gu clan was filled with police cars. Guo Pai could roughly guess what had happened. He smiled at Jiang Ao. The 318 people were not guilty. However, they could no longer stay in the Gu clan. Xing Tian had contacted the Dragon King. These people would be brought back to the violent dragon group temporarily. The Gu clan was really finished. Chapter 208. Brother, my grandpa just called and said that Li Dafu is waiting outside and wants to meet you. Niumeng walked to Guo Pai and whispered. Who is Li Dafu? Guo Pai asked. Of course, it was not Guo Pai's fault. He was just a small figure in Wu Castle. It was normal that he did not know the secretary of the Imperial City Committee. Niumeng said. Li Dafu was the secretary of the Imperial City Committee. His grandpa said that he could meet him. No matter what, he had to give him some face. Guo Pai nodded. Since the Gu family had caused such a big commotion, he should at least greet this big boss of the Imperial City. Brother Gu, this is your Gu family's house. Don't go back to the Tyrannosaurus group yet. Let's have a chat later, Guo said with a mischievous smile. Gu Yun glanced at Jiang Ao, then gently nodded. Boss, this is Guo Pai's information. At a crossroad not far from the Gu family, Wang Kai handed a few pieces of paper to Li Dafu in a Volkswagen car. Academician Guo's grandson? I've heard of him before. He was called one of the 4 pests of Wu Castle in Wu Castle. I didn't expect him to change so much. Li Dafu narrowed his eyes and said, This kid has been doing well recently. Wang Kai didn't say anything and just nodded slightly. On the day of the auction, Li Dafu went to the meeting while Wang Kai was at the auction site. On that day, Guo Pao's pills and wine had brought him at least 8 billion. 8 billion. Although there were many people in the imperial capital who could take out this amount of money, who would dare to think that he could earn 8 billion in a single auction? This kid is very interesting. Li Dafu said with a smile. He has a lot of girlfriends. Ahem, this kid is a bit of a playboy. Wang Kai agreed softly. You too, it's not good to talk about others behind their back. Just as Wang Kai and Li Dafu were talking about Guo Pai's post in the Takashi University affiliated high school, Guo Pai arrived. Haha, I've let little bad laugh at me. It's our fault. Let's find a quiet place to talk. Li Dafu said with a smile. Guo Pai nodded slightly after getting into the car. Wang Kai drove the 2 of them to a small villa. Little Bad, is it okay to call you that? How is Academician Guo? The last time I saw him was during a meeting in the Imperial Capital Auditorium. He even mentioned you at that time, haha. Li Dafu said with a smile. The old man must have said something bad about me. Should I call you Secretary Li or Uncle Li? Guo Pai said with a smile. Haha, call me Uncle Li. If you want to call me Li Dafu, that's fine too. Don't call me Secretary when I'm chatting with you young people. It's awkward for me to hear that, Li Dafu said with a smile. This Guo Pai in front of him gave him a lot of pressure. Uncle Li, I've made a big mess in the imperial capital this time. I wonder how Uncle Li wants to deal with it? Guopai said with a smile as he found a place to sit down in the courtyard of the villa. It's not my turn to clean up the mess this time. Leader Jiang of the Violent Dragon Group has stepped in. I can't get involved even if I wanted to. I'm just curious about what happened to the Gu family. After all, the Gu family has a lot of influence in the imperial capital. As the parent official of the imperial capital, I have to maintain the public order of the imperial capital, Li Dafu said with a smile. Uncle Li, you haven't been in good spirits these days. Take this elixir. You've been busy for the whole day. I'll make something to eat. We have plenty of time to talk slowly. Guopai handed Li Dafu a green elixir and said with a smile. He walked straight to the rockery in the villa and reached out to pick up a wild tortoise from the rockery. He ignored Li Dafu's shocked expression and walked straight into the villa's kitchen. Uncle Li, if you don't want to eat it, just throw it away. It's not a good thing anyway. Guopai looked at the hesitant Li Dafu and said with a smile. I'm going all out. Li Dafu looked at Guopai. This kid even dared to deal with Gu Gulei of the Gu family. That old man's life is much more precious than mine. I have to eat this elixir no matter what. Thinking about this, Li Dafu put the elixir into his mouth. Guopai had already put the wild tortoise into a wood-burning pot. Then, he threw in a lot of ingredients from his gourd. After a while, a fragrant smell came from the kitchen and Guopai walked out. Little bad, I feel a lot more relaxed. Li Dafu immediately felt a lot more comfortable after eating the elixir. He didn't hide it and said to Guopai with a smile. Uncle Li is in an important position. You should know a lot more than ordinary people. I'm sure Uncle Li is familiar with terms like Wu Xiu and ability users. Guopai said with a smile. I know. The old man of the Gu family, Gu Gulei, is the leader of Huaxia's ability group. His position in Huaxia is far above mine. This is also the reason why I can't interfere in today's matter. Li Dafu said with a smile. The Gu family is finished. From today onwards, there is no Gu family in the capital. As for the Gu family's previous business, Uncle Li will have to worry about it. Only you can handle this matter. I want the Gu family's old mansion. Within half a year, Bugyaku will open in the capital. I hope Uncle Li can attend the opening ceremony. Guopai said with a smile, not caring about Li Dafu's shocked expression. He didn't believe it at first when he heard Niu Jinshan say that the Gu family was finished. However, now that he heard it again from this person, he had no choice but to believe it. The taste of the turtle soup is not bad. You can drink the rest. Don't have sex for the next week. It's time for me to take a look at my mother. After Guopai finished speaking, he turned and walked out of the villa. Chapter 209. Guopai drove the two of them around the capital. Suddenly, he was at a loss. Go back to Wu Castle? It was a little late to go back now. Go to T-Rex? Xing Tian and the rest hadn't gone back yet. Even if they went back, they would only be Xia Wudi's coolie. Go to the auction house to look for Lu Yan? He had two girls with him. Although he wasn't afraid of what others would say, he still had to consider the feelings of the girls. Bad husband, have you not thought of where to go? Then let's go to my house. My grandfather wants to see you, Sun Lingling said with a smile, her face slightly red. Lin Shuang, let's go together. You've been busy these past 2 days. When we reach Ling Ling's house, I have to help you take a look. Now that the Gu family's matter is settled, I'm preparing to go to the Lin family to propose marriage. Guopai said with a smile. Lin Shuang's face flushed red. However, Guopai's trip to the capital this time made Lin Shuang completely accept this man. No, this little man. I'll listen to you. Let's go to Lingling's house. I don't want to go home anyway. They called me because they wanted to contact you through me and see if you would buy me at a good price. They didn't consider my feelings at all. Lin Shuang said softly with a trace of sadness. Guopai reached out and hugged Lin Shuang. You've been too tired recently. After we leave Ling Ling's house, I'll follow you back to the Lin family. I'll see who bullied my wife. Do they still want to live? Lin Shuang obediently lay in Guopai's arms. Sun Ling Ling looked at Guopai with a trace of jealousy. She stepped on the accelerator and sped towards her house. Shuang didn't pick up the phone. Lin Shuang's father, Lin Xingyun, called Lin Shuang more than 10 times. In the end, Lin Shuang directly turned off her phone. In the Lin family's courtyard, a house full of people waited for a long time before hearing this sentence. Lin Xingyun, this is your good daughter. She played such a trick at such a crucial time. Tell me, now that the Gu family is finished, what about the business cooperation between the Gu family and our Lin family? A man about the same age as Lin Xingyun said in a strange voice. Lin Xingyun, back then, the Gu family and the Lin family cooperated because I, Lin Xingyun, let Shuang and Gu Lai's arranged marriage. Our family has done enough for the entire Lin family. If you have the ability, get your uglies ***** to look for that Guopai. Lin Xingyun said loudly. He was a little angry. Over the years, with the help of the Gu family, the Lin family had become stronger day by day. However, all of this was because Gu Lai had taken a fancy to Lin Shuang, and the Lin family had used Lin Shuang as a bargaining chip in exchange for all of this. He had already let his daughter down, but now, these people in the family had such an attitude. Xingyun, think of a way to contact Xiao Shuang. If you can contact her, regardless of whether Xiao Shuang can get Guopai to help her or not, Xiao Shuang is still my granddaughter. She has done enough for the Lin family. Let her come back, I won't force her anymore, Lin Sanyuan, the current head of the Lin family, said softly. After he finished speaking, he turned and left the hall. An hour ago, more than 30 influential families in the capital had gathered in the meeting room of the city committee building. The entire capital's police force had been mobilized. If anything happened to any of these people in the city committee, the capital would be in chaos. Everyone, thank you for your contributions to the capital's economic development over the years. This time, I called everyone here because I have something to tell you. Although Li Dafu was sitting at the front, whether it was Xianyuan Xiongfeng, Nangong Mouse, Niu Jinshan, Ouyang Xie, or retail King Zhang Tianzhan, all of them brought great pressure to Li Dafu. These people all had different expressions, and Li Dafu didn't know what they were thinking. Dafu, if you have something to say, just say it. It's already very late. I hope what you say will interest us, the head of the Shi family, Shi Yongqi, said with a smile. Regarding the Gu family, I think everyone has more or less heard some rumors. Uncle Xiongfeng, Uncle Mos, and Uncle Jinshan should know more than me, Li Dafu said with a smile. The 3 old men looked up at Li Dafu and didn't say anything. Ahem, I'll just say it. Seeing that the 3 old men didn't have any intention to speak, Li Dafu coughed a few times and said with a hint of helplessness. The Gu family has already been classified as a terrorist organization. Today, the Violent Dragon Group took action and uprooted the Gu family. Today, I called everyone here to discuss the Gu family's properties. Although the Gu family is a terrorist organization, they have played a significant role in the capital's economy over the years. I don't want the disappearance of the Gu family to affect the capital's overall situation. Dafu, where did you get this news? You can't speak carelessly about this. A few heads of families that were close to the Gu family stood up. Although they had also received the news today and knew that the Violent Dragon Group was looking for trouble with the Gu family, at first, they thought it was just a small matter. Following the principle that the common people shouldn't interfere in a fight between immortals, they didn't go to the Gu family to help. But now, Li Dafu actually said that the Gu family had been uprooted by the Violent Dragon Group. It was unbelievable. Everyone, sit down and talk. The news was given by the higher-ups. The Dragon King, Xiao Wudi, personally gave the order. But the higher-ups asked me to tell everyone not to worry. This matter is only targeted at the Gu family. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to reach the municipal committee. Li Dafu looked at the few old men and said with a smile. The Gu family had been annihilated, and these families were afraid from the bottom of their hearts. Back then, they didn't care about him, the secretary of the municipal committee. But now, their expressions had completely changed. Dafu, since the Gu family is a terrorist organization, our Wu family will stop all contact with the Gu family later. Don't worry about this matter. Wu Xuanfeng said with a smile. Back then, he had been the closest to the Gu family. Half of his businesses were related to the Gu family. Since the higher-ups wanted to deal with the Gu family, he had to take advantage of the fact that the Wu family was still fine to draw a clear line with the Gu family. A few people who had nothing to do with the Gu family looked at him with a trace of disdain. Dafu, our Xianyuan family will take over the Gu family's shipping business in the Yuntian harbor and the real estate in the 8 northwestern cities. There won't be any trouble. These things aren't what our Xianyuan family wants. They are mainly for my granddaughter and granddaughter as betrothal gift. After marrying into Wu Castle, they can't be too shabby, Xianyuan Xiongfeng said with a smile. Everyone in the room was stunned. The Yuntian harbor's shipping business was also the foundation of the Gu family's existence in Huaxia for thousands of years. Xianyuan Xiongfeng said that these things belonged to the Xianyuan family. Everyone was stunned. However, it seemed that Nangong Mouse didn't object. If these things were the dowry, it would be the first dowry in Huaxia. Yuntian harbor will be handed over to Brother Xiongfeng. The energy of West Iron will be handed over to the Nangong family. Although Ling Mo is still young, he will have to stay in Wu Castle sooner or later. Nangong Mouse said with a smile. Except for Niu Jinshan, the others didn't understand what the two old men meant. After the Gu family fell, they could divide these things as they wanted. Anyway, they couldn't say anything. However, they didn't need to say it so clearly in front of everyone. Since Uncle Xiongfeng and Uncle Mao Su said so, then other things will be easy to deal with. Li Dafu said with a smile. He asked Wang Kai to bring hundreds of reports and put them all in front of everyone. Chapter 210. I'll leave the Western Club to Sister Sia. It's closer to your company, so you should take some time to take a look. As he spoke, Li Dafu handed a report to Ouyang Xia. This strong woman gently nodded her head. If the Western Suburbs Club was properly managed, it wouldn't be a problem to earn 300 million a year. Who wouldn't want free money? Uncle Sun, I'll leave these hotels to your Sun family. You're good at this. Everyone's eyes widened. The Sun family, a second-rate family in the capital, actually got so much at once. However, Sun Quanfeng knew what was going on. He smiled and said that Ling Ling's dowry was settled. Everyone present was slick and smooth, so they naturally understood what was going on. Everything that happened today left a deep impression on the minds of all the family heads present. Wu Castle Guopai, the biggest winner of the auction a few days ago, the owner of Wu Castle Bugyaku, and the mastermind behind the destruction of the Gu family. Guopai naturally didn't know about this. He comforted Lin Shuang along the way. When they arrived at the Sun family, Lin Shuang had actually fallen asleep. Guopai had no choice but to carry Lin Shuang when he got out of the car. Sun Ling Ling hurriedly let Guopai carry Lin Shuang to a tidied-up guest room. Guopai gave Lin Shuang another injection. Lin Shuang's business was done, so he walked out. Bad husband, why aren't you nervous at all? Aren't you afraid that my grandfather and father will take care of you? You actually took advantage of me and brought another woman to my house. Humph. Sun Ling Ling whispered. What's there to be nervous about? I'm so outstanding. Father-in-law will definitely take a fancy to me at first glance. It'll definitely be easy to pass the old man's test. Guopai smiled and said, bringing another woman to the Sun family shows that I, Guopai, value relationships even more. Lin Shuang also has a child, which means that there's nothing wrong with my body. It's killing many birds with one stone. Ba ba ba, big bad guy, you're a stud horse. Sun Ling Ling couldn't help but say. Guopai fiercely pulled Sun Ling Ling into his arms, and Sun Ling Ling immediately lost her temper. Let go. Come with me. Grandpa and the others are waiting for us in the hall, Sun Ling Ling said with a slightly red face. The two of them walked side by side to the Sun family's guest hall. However, just as they reached the entrance, Guopai was amused by the scene in front of him. An old man was standing at the front, and behind him were Sun Lingling's father and third brother's uncle. Behind them were Sun Lingling's cousins. They were all standing at the entrance of the guest hall. Old man, I'm a little overwhelmed by your display of power. Can we talk inside? Guo Shuai acted as if he was chatting with an old friend. He smiled and said to the Sun family's head, Sun Quanfeng. Ha ha ha, all right. Let's talk inside. Little Wei, you juniors can go back. It's getting late. You should rest early, Sun Quanfeng said with a smile as he led Guopai into the house. Brother Wei, isn't that guy Lingling's boyfriend? What's his background? Why is Grandpa so polite to him? A young man from the Sun family whispered to Sun Wei, the leader of the third generation of the Sun family. Little Peng, he's the most popular person in the capital recently. He's the doctor from Wu Castle who made 8 billion in one day at the last auction. However, the Gu family's matter this time seems to have something to do with him, Sun Wei said softly. Sun Wei said softly. He had followed Sun Quanfeng to the auction last time, but he had only heard about the Gu family's matters. The rumors were very exaggerated. The old man only told him one sentence, which was that he must respect this young man and not be perfunctory. Call Brother Tingfei tomorrow and ask him. He should know more than us, Sun Wei continued. However, just as he finished speaking, Sun Wei's phone rang. Brother Tingfei, I was just thinking of calling you tomorrow. What's the matter? Sun Wei said with a smile. Xianyuan Tingfei was the eldest brother of the younger generation of the families in the capital. Other than the Gu family and the families that were related to the Gu family, many people in the capital had a good relationship with Xianyuan Tingfei. Is Brother Guopai in your house now? Xianyuan Tingfei asked with a smile. When Guopai came out of the Gu family, several people in the Xianyuan family who secretly protected Guopai told Xianyuan Xiongfeng about Guopai's whereabouts. Originally, he thought that Guopai might come to his house. Later, he knew that he went to the Sun family. No wonder the Sun family got a lot of benefits from Li Dafu that night. It seemed that Li Dafu also knew about the relationship between Guopai and the Sun family. And he and my cousin are at my house. They just arrived. Brother Tingfei, I have something to ask you. What's the background of this Guopai? Brother Tingfei, I have to trouble you to call him personally to ask. Sun Wei asked with a smile. Xiao Wei, you have a good relationship with the bad brother. You have a good cousin. This time, your Sun family took advantage of her. When you see him later, tell him that I have something urgent to talk to him about. Ask him to call me. Xianyuan Tingfei said with a smile. Brother Tingfei, it's not necessary. He's just a doctor in Wu Castle who made some money in the capital. It's not necessary for the young master of the Xianyuan family to be so concerned about him. Sun Wei still didn't believe that Guopai, who didn't look like a powerful person, had any ability. Xiao Wei, let me tell you, give up on your current idea. Don't ever offend Guopai. Otherwise, let alone you, even your Sun family will have to bear the consequences. The Gu family is an example. You should have heard about what happened to the Gu family. Let me tell you another inside story. The Gu family's downfall has nothing to do with the T-Rex group. Guopai is the real mastermind. After Xianyuan Tengfei finished speaking, he hung up the phone. Sun Wei was covered in cold sweat. He had really underestimated this Guopai. If it wasn't for Xianyuan Tengfei's reminder, it was very likely that he would have made an unforgivable mistake. In the Sun family's living room, Sun Quanfeng and his 4 sons were sitting on the sofa. Guopai pulled a sandalwood stool and sat on it. He felt that a solid wood stool like this was more comfortable. Sun Lingling wanted to pour tea for everyone, but was stopped by Guopai. Sun Quanfeng glanced at his youngest son, Sun Qingsong, who stood up and poured tea for everyone. Guopai looked at Sun Quanfeng and enjoyed it very much. Guopai, little you, I heard from Lingling that you cured her illness a few days ago. I should have gone to Wu Castle to have a look and thank you properly. However, I haven't found the time. This time, when you come to the capital, you must stay at my humble home for a few days. Let me do my best as a host, Sun Quanfeng said with a smile. Since Lingling calls you Grandpa, I will call you Grandpa too. This time, I came to the capital to deal with some things. I think Grandpa already knows about it. After the things are done, the Gu family has to go to the Tyrannosaurus group in the next few days. I won't bother my father-in-law and uncles. Guopai said with a smile, you must know about the matter between Lingling and me. When Lingling graduates from high school, I will come to propose marriage. There is still a month left. This is the betrothal gift. Don't refuse it. Take it first. Guopai took out 3 white jade bottles that looked very ordinary and placed them on the table. Little Bad, we are all family. There is no need for so many formalities. Take it. Sun Quanfeng said with a smile. He had received enough benefits that night. Once the industries that Li Dafu gave to the Sun family stabilized in less than half a year, the Sun family's strength would double. Just take it. 10 youth-retaining pill, 10 meridian opening pills, and 100 snow muscle pills. If you don't want them, I think there are many people in the capital who want them. Haha. Guopai said with a smile. Sun Quanfeng and Sun Lingling's father opened their eyes wide. They went to the capital auction and felt the craziness of the pills. Now, Guopai actually gave so many pills to the Sun family. If outsiders knew about this, they would be envious to death. If they didn't accept them, the entire capital would call Sun Quanfeng an idiot. No wonder Xianyuan Xiongfeng dared to use the Gu family's Cloud Sky Harbor as his granddaughter's dowry. No one knew how many benefits there would be if they had a connection with this Guopai. Chapter 211. Little Bad, then I won't stand on ceremony with you. Anyway, we'll be a family in the future. Sun Quanfeng smiled and said, the Gu family is finished. Li Dafu gave the Sun family a lot of benefit. I think it's mostly because of Little Bad's face. Guopai smiled slightly. This Li Dafu was not bad. He was quite good at doing things. It seemed that it was not a coincidence that he could become the secretary of the municipal party committee. Accept the benefits. After we go back to Wu Castle, Grandpa can go to Wu Castle when he has time. The family matters should be handed over to the uncles. Your body is not as good as you think. Guopai said with a smile. Sun Quanfeng nodded gently. He wanted to give up power, but none of his children could make him feel completely at ease. His grandson Sun Wei was a good material, but he was too young. If he trained him for 2 more years, he should be able to support the Sun family. When the Sun family's business in the capital stabilizes, I'll go to Wu Castle to find Sun Lingling. At that time, Little Bad will be living and eating at your place. Sun Quanfeng said with a smile. His sons were happy. In fact, all aristocratic families were the same. The new generation replaced the old. Even if their father had always been the head of the family, it was inevitable that the sons would feel a little uncomfortable. Grandpa, if there's nothing else, I'll go and rest. I'm a little tired today. Guo Pai said with a smile. Sun Quanfeng nodded gently. Guo Pai pulled Sun Lingling out of the meeting room. He and his sons looked at the jade bottle on the table and felt endless emotions in their hearts. What's the use of having sons like you? You're not even as good as my granddaughter. With such a good husband, our Sun family is finally going to rise. Sun Quanfeng said with a sigh. His sons' faces were red. In the end, the second son, who was Sun Lingling's father, said softly that Sun Lingling was his daughter. He had done a good deed for the Sun family. Sun Quanfeng felt good about it. Go and contact the Xianyuan family and the Nangong family. I'll go to them tomorrow. Our Sun family can't afford to eat these things. I, Sun Quanfeng, understand the principle of an innocent man gets into trouble because of his wealth. Sun Quanfeng whispered to his eldest son. But a moment later, the two families' replies shocked Sun Quanfeng. Tell your father that if it's from Guo Pai, tell him to keep it well. It belongs to your Sun family. No one dares to take it. If he has time, tell your father to visit our Xianyuan family more often. Xianyuan Xiongfeng said with a smile on the phone. Sun Quanfeng had a good granddaughter. He had to let his granddaughter marry Guo Pai as soon as possible. Nangong Mao's reply to the Sun family was similar to that of the Xianyuan family. After hanging up the phone, Nangong Mao's called Nangong Lingma and asked about his well-being. If it wasn't for little Lingma's suggestion, the Nangong family would have been implicated this time. Dad, the Nangong family and the Xianyuan family's attitude is similar. They just want us to keep the things with peace of mind. Sun Delong said with a smile. Sun Quanfeng basically knew what was going on at this time. He hit his head hard. He still underestimated Guo Pai. You're awake. Are you hungry? I'll get you something to eat. Guo Pai and Sun Lingling walked to the room where Lin Shuang was resting. Lin Shuang had already woken up and was sitting on the bed in a daze. Bad guy, you can instinctively help the Lin family. Lin Shuang gritted her teeth and said softly, the Gu family is finished. The Lin family's business is not doing well. I know what's going on. Although I'm your woman, the Lin family was affiliated with the Gu family. Many people in the capital don't dare to interact with the Lin family. I hate the Lin family, but I don't want the Lin family to decline like this. I know what you mean. I told you that day. See who bullied my wife. I will avenge my wife, Guo Pai said softly. You and Lingling sit first. I'll get you something to eat. Then, 4 plates of delicious food were placed on the table. The 3 of them ate very comfortably. Bad husband, how many more secrets do you have? A doctor, a superpower user, a disciple of a hidden sect, and a womanizer. Sun Lingling looked at the sleeping Lin Shuang, carefully leaning on Guo Pai, and asked softly. Would you believe me if I said that I used to be an immortal in heaven? Guo Pai said with a smile again. Humph, I don't believe you. If you were an immortal in heaven, you must have broken the laws of heaven and been sent down to the mortal realm. Sun Lingling pouted and said, Could it be that you were sent down to the mortal realm because you peeked at Chang-Yi taking a bath? Ahem, little girl, you even know this. You really know how to guess. Guo Pai said with a trace of surprise. Bad guy, this is the Sun family. Today, elder sister will take you. Then, Sun Lingling actually took the initiative to push Guo Pai down. Guo Pai began to enjoy the most primitive passion. At 6:00 in the morning, Guo Pai woke up. He looked at the bed full of spring light and smiled slightly. He covered Sun Lingling, put on his clothes, and walked out of the room. Although the morning light couldn't be compared to the moonlight, it was still a good thing in the mortal realm for Guo Pai. He could only rely on the morning light and the moonlight to recover his immortal power. It was a pity that he didn't know when that trace of immortal power would disappear. If it disappeared, he probably wouldn't be as arrogant as he was now. Brother-in-law, I saw you yesterday and wanted to call you, but I was called away by the old man. Sun Wei woke up before 5:00 today. He wandered in front of Guapai's house several times and finally saw the main character. "Brother-in-law, what's the matter?" Guapai said with a smile. The young master of the Sun family in front of him gave him a good feeling. He was very friendly. "Brother Tingfei called you yesterday and asked you to call him back. He said that there's something. You can call him back when you want to." Sun Wei said with a smile, "After dinner, I'll take brother-in-law around the capital." As he said that, he handed Guapai a phone. Guapai didn't stand on ceremony and reached out to take it. He directly dialed Xianyuan Tingfei's number. "Brother Tingfei, what's so urgent?" Guapai asked with a smile. "It's nothing serious. It's about my wife, your second sister-in-law. I feel that her spirit hasn't been very good recently. I don't know what's going on. I've invited a few doctors in the capital, but they couldn't find anything wrong. I want you to take a look at her," Xianyuan Tingfei said softly. Xianyuan Tingfei's eldest wife was Xue Duo, and his second wife was Xue Exin. Xianyuan Tingfei was also a troublemaker. The two of them were pregnant together. Xue Duo's child was born, and Xue Xian's was pregnant with another child. "I have to go to Lin Shuang's house today. After I'm done with the Lin family, I'll go back to Yinhua Villa and take a look at her. Don't worry." As Guapai said that, he pinched his fingers and a familiar feeling entered his mind. Could it be that the Jade Emperor had gone crazy again and someone had been banished to the lower realm? Guapai didn't have time to think about it carefully, but he couldn't find any more information. "Forget it, I'll go to Yinhua Villa after I'm done with my wife's family." "Father," Shuang replied. "This morning, Guapai will follow her to the Lin family." "Shuang asked us to prepare," Lin Xingyun said with a hint of excitement. "Prepare? Prepare for what?" "Your daughter is coming back pregnant before marriage. What's there to prepare for such an embarrassing thing?" Lin Shuang's uncle Lin Xingyu said loudly. He and his other sons really didn't want Lin Shuang to go back to the Lin family. If she really did bring Guapai to the Lin family, their status in the Lin family would plummet. It was uncertain who the Lin family would belong to in the future. Get people to prepare for Shuang. "Second brother, I'm warning you. I know what you're thinking. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. This Guapai is not simple. If you offend him, even the Lin family won't be able to protect you," the head of the Lin family, Lin Sanyuan, said loudly. Chapter 212. After a sumptuous breakfast and a night's rest, Lin Shuang's spirit was much better. However, Sun Lingling's spirit was also very good after a night of tormenting. Guo, on the other hand, was looking at the two of them with a mischievous smile, making everyone unable to figure out what he was thinking. "Little Bad, why don't you stay for a few more days? I'll let Xiao Wei and the others accompany you around," Sun Quanfeng said with a smile. He was very satisfied with this future son-in-law of his. Who dared to say that they could compare to this young man in front of him? "Old man, there will be plenty of time in the future. However, you should think about what I told you yesterday. Come to Wu Castle and find me as soon as possible. There's no such thing as endless money, only endless happiness. Your children and grandchildren will have their own happiness. Take some things easy," Guapai said with a smile and pulled Lin Shuang into the car without looking back. He had already told Sun Lingling yesterday that she would not be allowed to follow them to the Lin family today. "Dad, we'll be home in about half an hour." After Lin Shuang got into the car, she called Lin Xingyun again. Lin Xingyun told Lin Shuang that the house was ready and that she could just come. Guapai drove to the Lin family's house. "Dad, Lin Shuang and Guapai will be here soon. Should we go to the door to welcome them?" Lin Shuang's cousin Linli asked Lin Xingyu softly. "Welcome what? They are the younger generation. Do you think the elders in Huaxia will welcome the younger generation?" Lin Xingyu said with a gloomy face. "Shaoli, let them come. Let's do what we should do. Guopai is just a kid. I'd like to see what kind of trouble he can cause. Half an hour later, Guopai and Lin Shuang arrived at the Lin family's house. Lin Sanyuan stood at the door and looked at them with a smile. There were many members of the Lin family standing behind him. However, Guopai could tell that not everyone in the Lin family had such a good attitude like old Master Lin. Xiao Shuang, you've suffered outside all these years. It's all my fault. Come in. Lin Sanyuan smiled and said, Little guy, I saw you at our auction. You are indeed a talent. Come in, come in. Guopai nodded gently, and Lin Shuang and Lin Fan walked into the Lin family. You got pregnant before marriage and came back with a big belly. You even became the hero of the Lin family. The Lin family's face is completely lost because of you. Lin Li, Lin Shuang's cousin and the second son of Lin Xingyu, said softly. Guopao narrowed his eyes and looked at Lin Li. Good, very good. Lin Xingyu, keep your son in check. Lin Sunyuan's face darkened. Everyone knew that Lin Li was known to be a fool in the Lin family. Therefore, whenever he did something overboard, he would just let it pass. However, he must have been instructed by Lin Xingyu to say such words at this critical moment. Dad, even my foolish son can see through this. Do you still need me to say anything? Shaoli said it well this time. Lin Xingyu took a step forward and said with a smile, You're Guo scoundrel, right? I'm Xiao Shuang's uncle. There's something I have to tell you. Xiao Shuang is pregnant out of wedlock. You have to figure out whether the child is yours or not. Don't be cuckolded without even knowing it. Lin Shuang heard Lin Xingyu's words and her whole body trembled. She knew that her father and uncle didn't get along well, but she didn't expect her uncle to be so overboard this time. He actually said such words to her face when she came home. Thank you for your reminder, uncle. However, I suggest that you do a paternity test with that smart son of yours. You are so stupid, it's impossible for you to have such a child. Don't raise someone else's dog and make your pig thin, Guopai said with narrowed eyes. Lin Xingyu's face darkened immediately. Brother, what do you mean by raising someone else's dog and making my pig thin? Lin Li asked softly. Lin Xingyu slapped Lin Li's face and shouted at him to get lost. Lin Li ran away as if he was escaping. Guopai laughed and walked into the Lin family's house with Lin Shuang in his arms. Lin Sanyuan stared at Lin Xingyu, who still wanted to say something. Lin Xingyu didn't dare to say anything. Brother Fei, that Guopai just scolded our uncle until he couldn't say anything. Haha, that felt so good, a young man said to another young man with a smile. This Guopai is not simple. Did you feel it today? Your karaoke halls aren't doing well, right? I got some news from Yunhua Club. If he doesn't say anything, your karaoke halls and my underground dog fighting ring can close down, Lin Fei said softly. What a powerful background. Then, big uncle. Before the young man could finish his sentence, Lin Fei pulled him aside. It would be better if Lin Xingyu was done for. Although their family's relationship with their uncle's family was average, if their uncle was done for, their family would be able to get a bigger share of the profits. I'm Shuang Er's grandfather, Lin Sanyuan. This old man is taking advantage of you. I'll call you Little Bad, Lin Sanyuan said with a smile. Lin Sanyuan said with a smile. Guopao nodded lightly. Although this old man before him was quite scheming, he didn't seem to be too bad. Aside from the matter of Lin Shuang and Gu Lai being betrothed when they were children, he was still a decent patriarch. Little Bad, you're really generous. You became famous at the auction and then brought down the Gu family. You're really a young hero, Lin Sanyuan said with a smile. Old man, you must be joking. I fell in love with Shuang as soon as I saw her at Wu Castle. When I heard that she was engaged to the Gu family, I wanted to talk to them about it. I didn't expect them to kidnap Lin Shuang and my little wife before I even went. This is a slap in the face. Although I have a good temper, I can't let them bully me like this. Speaking of which, the Gu family brought this upon themselves, Guopai said with a smile. Although he said it very simply, everyone in front of him was stunned. The Gu family was the head of the 3 major families in Beijing. Gu Gulei was the leader of Hua Xia's special ability group. The Gu family had great influence in the entire Hua Xia. Not to mention finding trouble with the Gu family, even if the Gu family bullied them, they could only endure it. Unlike this great god in front of them, who had a good temper, could not tolerate it and brought down the Gu family. Little bad, I won't beat around the bush. Our Lin family used to be very close to the Gu family. Now that the Gu family has fallen, some business matters have become a little difficult, Lin Sanyuan said softly. Old man, what do you want me to do? Guopai naturally knew what to do, but it was better for the Lin family to say it. I heard that, little bad, you are very close to the Xianyuan family. Now, some of the Gu family's businesses are in the hands of the Xianyuan family. I was wondering if you could help me talk to the Xianyuan family, Lin Sanyuan said with a hint of helplessness. This is a small matter. I will take care of the Xianyuan family. Guo said with a mischievous smile. There's something I have to tell the old man. The child in Shuang Er's belly is almost 3 months old. I want to hold a wedding in the imperial capital and openly take her to our Guo family. Little bad, leave this matter to me. I guarantee that it will be done grandly, Lin Sanyuan said hurriedly. I just want to tell the old man so that you can be mentally prepared. When the time comes, you can attend the wedding as her family. Guopai said with a smile and dialed Xianyuan Tengfei's number. This small matter did not require him to contact Xianyuan Xiongfeng. Bad brother, I thought it was something big. I will take care of this matter for you. Quickly come to Yunhua Villa. Your sister-in-law's condition is really not very good recently, Xianyuan Tengfei said with a hint of anxiety on the other end of the phone. I will be back the day after tomorrow at the latest. Don't worry. I just calculated that sister-in-law is fine, Guopai said with a smile. Chapter 213. Xianyuan Tengfei still wanted to say something, but Guopai didn't give him the chance and directly hung up the phone. Grandpa, Guopai just called. He's at the Lin family. Xianyuan Tengfei walked to Xianyuan Xiongfeng's residence and said with a smile. What do you mean? Xianyuan Xiongfeng asked with a smile. Ever since the old man had entered the Hotian realm, it seemed as if he had become obsessed with martial arts. Therefore, the younger generation of the Xianyuan family had no choice but to work hard. Think about it, if the old man progressed faster than the younger generation, then wouldn't the old man use this matter as an excuse in the future? The Lin family used to be very close to the Gu family. Recently, all the families in the capital have been treating them well. Some of our previous cooperation with them have also been terminated. Little Bad wants to let them go. Xianyuan Tengfei said with a smile. If it were him, he would definitely come forward. No matter what his wife's family did in the past, they were still her family. Our cooperation with the Lin family will continue. Inform the Nangong family. Now the Gu family is finished. Although we haven't settled the matter with the Nangong family, since Nangong Mao's granddaughter has a good relationship with Little Bad, we'll put aside the grudges between us and the Nangong family for now. However, if the Nangong family dares to send people to invade us, we don't have to give face to anyone. Xianyuan Xiongfeng finished speaking and entered meditation again. Xianyuan Tengfei was very efficient. He had to be. Shui Duo's condition was not good recently. Xianyuan Tengfei was so busy that he was in a terrible state. The only thing he wanted to do now was to do whatever Guo Xiao wanted him to do. That way, he could quickly come to the Xianyuan family to take a look at his wife. Tengfei, tell your grandpa that the Nangong family will remember this matter and thank him. Nangong Mao said softly on the phone. There are still some people from the Nangong family in Yunhua Villa. If they are alive, please let them out. If they are dead, then let them be. Nangong Mouse had not received any information from the Nangong family's spies in the Xianyuan family for several days. Xianyuan Tingfei didn't explain much. After a few words of greetings, he hung up the phone and called his father-in-law. The Shui family and Lin family had some business dealings. If his father-in-law did something wrong, then it would be troublesome. Shuirenhua received a call from his son-in-law. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart that his son-in-law was much better than his sons. At least he knew how to do things. Then, he communicated with a few families that had a good relationship with the Shui family. They were all experts in business and were all smooth and slick. Although Shuirenhua didn't say it explicitly, the few old guys thanked Shuirenhua and resumed business with the Lin family. Guopai sat in the living room of the Lin family, drinking tea. People from the Lin family kept coming into the living room and talking to Lin Sanyuan happily. Guopai naturally knew what was going on. Xianyuan Tingfei's efficiency was not slow. Dad, good news. The Shi family's cooperation with us has restarted. You don't have to look at this kid's face anymore. Also, this girl is pregnant before marriage. According to the family rules, she should be expelled from the Lin family and never be allowed to come back. Lin Xingyu ran into the room and said loudly. Guopai narrowed his eyes and looked at the excited Lin Xingyu. Linli was really his son. He was so stupid. Scram, scram. Lin Sanyuan was so angry that he couldn't speak. He shouted loudly. How could he have such a son? Shuang is the Shi family that your stupid uncle is talking about Sister Shi Yuqian's family? Guopai didn't care about Lin Xingyu, who was shouting in the living room. He smiled and asked Lin Shuang, Shuang is the Shi family that your stupid uncle is talking about the Shi family of Sister Shi Yuqian? I've been in the martial arts arena all these years, so I don't know much about the Lin family's business. But if there's a Shi family in the capital, it should be the Yuqian's family, Lin Shuang said softly. Guopai smiled slightly. He dialed the phone and said, Sister Shi, there are all kinds of birds in the forest. You can't just accept any business. You should tell your grandfather about it. Shi Yuqian felt that something was wrong. She quickly told her grandfather what Lin Xingyu said. Grandfather Shi immediately understood what Lin Xingyu meant. They had just resumed cooperation with the Lin family, and now Guopai had called. He would be an idiot if he didn't know what Lin Xingyu meant. Terminate all cooperation with the Lin family. Yes, do it immediately. Tell the Lin family to take care of themselves, Grandfather Shi said loudly to his subordinates. What? Okay, thank you, Brother Shi. I'll tell my subordinates to terminate all cooperation with the Lin family immediately. It was similar to what happened just now. Just now they agreed to resume their relationship with the Lin family, but now they wanted to draw a line between them and the Lin family. Dad, the Shi family went back on their word. They have already terminated all cooperation with us. Lin Li, Lin Xingyu's youngest son, looked a little different from Lin Xingyu. Go back on their word? How can they go back on their word? Lin Xingyu squatted on the ground. Lin Sanyuan narrowed his eyes and looked at his disappointing son. Why did they go back on their word? Guopai only made a phone call just now. He didn't expect the Shi family to change their attitude so quickly. Little bad, look. Lin Sanyuan looked at Guopai and didn't know what to say. Guopai hugged Lin Shuang with one hand and placed the other on Lin Shuang's belly. He could feel that this was his first child in the human world. It was a girl. He had already made plans in his heart. He started to cultivate in the womb. He had already started to think about what kind of pills to make for his child. Uncle, the Zhao family was doing well at first. But just now, President Zhao called and said that the cooperation with the Lin family has been cancelled. Master, I don't know why, but Feng Jing just called and said that he drank too much just now. The cooperation doesn't count. Dad, the Nangong family sent a letter. The cooperation has been cancelled. They want me to tell you that the evils you bring upon yourself are the hardest to bear. Lin Shuang's father picked up a phone call and said with a heavy expression. Men, drag Lin Xingyu out. Give him $100,000. Lin Xingyu is no longer a member of the Lin family. Lin Sanyuan couldn't hold it in anymore and said loudly, Dad, you are my dad. How can you treat me like this? Lin Xingyu said loudly, Dad, don't worry. I'll follow you whether you have money or not. Didn't Grandpa give you $100,000? That's enough to buy a lot of food. Lin Li looked at Lin Xingyu, who was sitting on the ground, and said, Idiot. You are AF * king idiot. Lin Xingyu slapped Lin Li's head and said loudly, What about me? Auntie said that you are the idiot. Little brother is not your son. You should treat him like your father every day. Lin Li looked at Lin Li and said softly. Lin Xingyu fainted after hearing that. Lin Li was indeed not his son. Chapter 214. Little Bad, I'm begging you. Please inform the Xianyuan family again. Otherwise, the Lin family will be finished. Lin Sanyuan didn't care about his reputation anymore. Guopai looked at Lin Shuang. Lin Shuang nodded gently. At this time, the phone rang. Brother, what are you doing? Once you change your mind, half of the capital will follow you, Xianyuan Tingfei said loudly on the other side of the phone. It's okay. Ask Elder Xiongfeng to contact the Nangong family. The Lin family's business can be done as it should be, Guopai said with a smile. Brother, you are now the most troublesome person in the capital. Xianyuan Tingfei hung up the phone. In less than 10 minutes, the same people ran to the living room for the third time. This time, they were happy, but they weren't as excited as they were the first time. After being troubled 3 times in a row, they were a little scared. Pass down the order. Communicate with the other families in the capital. I don't want any more mistakes, Lin Sanyuan said loudly. The juniors nodded. The 8th of next month is a good day. I will hold a wedding with Shuang in the capital. The venue is temporarily set at the Gu family's old zhang. You can come when the time comes. I won't send you a separate invitation. You know how the Lin family has treated my wife all these years. I don't want to make Shuang feel uncomfortable, so I won't come to the Lin family to pick her up. As for who will be the bride's family, I think leader Xia of the T-Rex group should have no problem. After saying that, Guopao pulled Lin Shuang and walked out of the Lin residence under the shocked gazes of everyone. At this time, the Lin family knew that everything that Guopao gave to the Lin family was because of Lin Shuang's face. This face was only so much. Wife, are you angry with me for doing this? Guopai asked softly after getting in the car. My stomach is already big. What else can I do? Lin Shuang said mischievously. Guopai smiled. Lin Shuang's problem was finally solved. On the 8th day of the next month, there was still about a month to go. Today, he would finish his work in the capital and return to Wu Castle. His wives were all in Wu Castle. He could not stay in the capital all the time. Hubby, you promised Xianyuan Tingfei that you would treat his wife after you're done with your work. Let's go to Yunhua Villa first. Lin Shuang said softly. She would never have dreamed that she would really be together with this young man who was 8 years younger than her. In less than a month, she would become his bride. Then let's go to Yunhua Villa first. Guopai said with a smile and drove towards Yunhua Villa. After 3 days of divination, Xianyuan Tingfei's wife was actually deceived by someone. Guopai could not help but smile. Could it be that the Jade Emperor was banished to the mortal world? Just as Guobao was thinking about this, there was a muffled thunder in the sky, causing Guobao to shrink his head back. Are you kidding me? You can't be like this, right? Could it be that you big shots in the sky are treating me like a dish? Haha, this mind-reading perfected monarch is really interesting. Even I want to go to the mortal world to have a look. Moonlight, the most beautiful woman in the world, laughed without any restraint. She had just eaten a meal of bear paws, which made her in a good mood. Wu Gang, who was still gorging himself, looked at Chang-yi in a cute manner. Could it be that this big sister has gone crazy? Bang! Wu Gang, who had just put a piece of oily bear paw into his mouth, flew back 1,000 meters. Because of her thoughts just now, Chang-yi was not polite to this big guy at all. You can eat and drink my food under the moonlight. You can still see a beauty like me every day. How dare you slander me in your heart? You deserve a beating. Chang-yi looked at Wu Gang, who was flying far away, and said. She could not help but laugh again. In the heavenly court, the Jade Emperor had nothing to do. Some time ago, the aura of a great demon appeared in the mortal world, which gave him a fright. However, this mind-reading sage, who was banished to the mortal world by him, was not bad. Although he did not leave the great demon behind, at least he did not put people in a terrible situation. Therefore, the Jade Emperor wanted to see what this mind-reading sage was doing. He did not expect that he would discover what he was thinking as soon as he found him. The Jade Emperor was banished to the mortal world. Presumptuous, too presumptuous. Guopai drove the car leisurely to Yunhua Mountain Villa. Guopai was now considered a celebrity in the imperial capital. The Xianyuan family even trained all the people in Yunhua Mountain Villa during the days when Guopai was away. They had to remember what Guopai looked like. They even knew what Sun Lingling and Lin Shuang looked like. They also knew what those women in Wu Castle who were related to Guopai looked like. The Xianyuan family also knew what to do when they saw Guopai. Third brother, look, is that the bad master's car? Why do I feel like there is a bad master in the car? When the guards of Yunhua Mountain Villa saw a military pickup truck driving over, they immediately let it pass without saying anything. The two of them stood straight. Even the old chief of the army did not stand so straight. Guopai looked at the changes in the guards and the people who came to greet him. He smiled slightly. This Xianyuan Xiongfeng was really considerate. Xianyuan Tingfei drove an electric scooter and blocked the front of Guopai's car. He said anxiously, "Brother, you're finally here. Let's go and see my wife. She's been eating a lot more than before, but she's still not energetic. I don't know what's wrong with her. Shuang-er, go to my place and rest first. I'll go and see her with Brother Tingfei," Guopai said to Lin Shuang with a smile. Xianyuan Tingfei directly asked a few servants to drive Lin Shuang to the courtyard where Guopai stayed when he first arrived at Yunhua Mountain Villa. He especially instructed a few servants to serve the young mistress of the Guo family well. Guopai sat in Xianyuan Tingfei's electric scooter. He did not expect that an electric scooter could be driven so smoothly. In about 3 minutes, Guopai followed Xianyuan Tingfei to Xianyuan Tingfei's courtyard. A misty aura shrouded the entire courtyard, causing him to frown. When he first arrived at Yunhua Mountain Villa, he took Shui Xian's pulse and knew that she was pregnant with twins. Other than that, there was nothing unusual. However, what was there to hide from the heavens about twins? Guopai did not understand and followed Xianyuan Tingfei into the house. "All right, Mei-er, go and get me something to eat. I feel that I'm still very hungry," Shui Xian, who had a big belly, whispered to Hu Mei-er. "Cousin, this is already the 5th bowl. You can't eat any more. You've already eaten 4 braised pork trotters. You should rest first. I'll get you some water to drink." Hu Mei-er looked at Shui Xian with a hint of resentment in her eyes and quickly ran out of the room. This cousin of hers had been eating more and more since 3 days ago. It was too scary. "Brother-in-law, you're finally here. Cousin still wants to eat. I didn't let her." As soon as Hu Mei-er walked out of the room, she saw Xianyuan Tingfei at a glance. It was as if she had found her savior. Then, she saw Guopai behind Xianyuan Tingfei, and her small face flushed red. "Qianqian, Mei-er, tell Grandpa the truth. What do you think of that Guopai?" After Guopai left the Xianyuan family, Xianyuan Xiongfeng called his granddaughters to his attic. What do you mean, what do you think? Grandpa, what are you talking about? Hu Mei said with a slightly red face. She couldn't help but blush when she thought of that day when Guopai hugged her and Qianqian. Cousin, why are you so stupid? Grandpa means that if you think that big bad guy is not bad, then we can marry him together, Xianyuan Qianqian said loudly. Xianyuan Qianqian said loudly. Xianyuan Xiongfeng's face was filled with black lines. He knew that his granddaughter was very valiant, but her words were too direct. She had answered so many questions in one sentence. Xianyuan Xiongfeng felt that Guoshao was a good man. She could accept marrying Guoshao, and she could also accept marrying Guoshao together with her cousin. Chapter 2:15. Grandpa, is that what you mean? Say something. Why are you coughing? Xianyuan Qianqian pouted. Xianyuan Xiongfeng nodded helplessly. Hu Mei's face turned even redder. Although she knew that it was normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines in a family like the Xianyuan family, she still felt a little awkward when it happened to her. Little Mei, I won't force you on this matter. If you don't agree, I will think of a way to let Qianqian marry Guopai alone. For the future development of the Xianyuan family, it doesn't matter if this matter is a little immoral or not, this matter has to be done. Xianyuan Xiongfeng said softly. Who said I don't agree? I agree. Hu Mei looked at Xianyuan Xiongfeng and shouted anxiously. Haha, if you agree, then it will be easy. Ha! Xianyuan Xiongfeng laughed and walked out of the loft, leaving behind Hu Mei and Xianyuan Qianqian, who were at a loss. Brother, is Xn all right? Guopai took Shui Xian's pulse for nearly 10 minutes, and his expression changed more than 10 times, making Xianyuan Tingfei a little nervous. Not gold, not wood, not water, not fire, not earth. Strange, really strange. Guopai muttered to himself, making Xianyuan Tingfei nervous. Brother, what do you mean? Xianyuan Tingfei asked softly. Guopai closed his eyes and placed his hand on Shui Xian's wrist again, making Xianyuan Tingfei even more nervous. I want to see who is playing tricks with this young master, Guopai said in his heart. A trace of immortal energy was injected into Shui Xian's body, and it rushed through Shui Xian's meridians to the child in her stomach. This is impossible, Guopai exclaimed in his heart. His trace of immortal energy had just entered the fetus in her stomach, and it was directly absorbed by the boy in her stomach. Guopai didn't give up and released another strand of celestial power. Damn, let's see who this kid is. I didn't even put in so much effort when dealing with that demon from the Gu family. Lord Taibai Jinxing, thank you for your immortal power. I thought that I would need to spend some effort to find you. I didn't expect to meet you in my mother's womb. The moment the second strand of immortal energy reached the child, Guopai could clearly feel that the child actually moved slightly. Then, a voice was transmitted through the strand of immortal energy. F***ck, it can't be right? Who in the heavenly court has been banished to the lower realms? Guopai exclaimed in his heart. Following that, he injected his immortal energy into Shui's body. I wonder which immortal descended to the lower realm. Could it be that he knows my previous self? Who else could it be if it's not in the 5 elements? It's only been a few days. Have you forgotten about me? Back then, when Starlord descended to the lower realm, I went to send you off. The fetus communicated with Guopai through immortal power. Not in the 5 elements. You're the third prince? Guopai immediately reacted and his entire body trembled. Could it be that the child in Shui Xian's womb is the reincarnation of the third prince? This is too unbelievable. Haha, I said that it's impossible for Starlord not to guess. Thank you for your immortal power that allowed me to awaken my consciousness in advance. However, I'll just obediently stay in my mother's womb. This feeling isn't bad. The fetus in Xue Xian's womb transmitted. Guopai's expression became more and more excited. However, in Xianyuan Tengfei's eyes, he was really afraid. Could it be that there's something wrong with the child in his wife's womb? Third Prince, you have the protection of Heavenly Kingly. I wonder what crime you committed to be banished to the lower realm. Could it be that you peeked at the Queen Mother? Guopai asked with a smile. Star-Lord, I don't have your ability. Brother, you should know better than me why I came to the lower realm. Neza replied with a smile. The two of them chatted for more than 10 minutes. Guopai basically understood why Neza came to the lower realm. 2 days ago, the aura of the great demon appeared in the Gu family. The heavenly court immediately received the news. Then, they discovered that the great demon of the lower realm was relatively close to the third prince's lower realm dojo. It should be that the suppression seal of the third prince's dojo was accidentally broken by someone, causing the great demon to be released. However, the third prince's luck wasn't as good as Guopai's. He originally wanted to find a corpse to reincarnate, but in the end, he didn't find a decent corpse in 3 days. In the end, he thought about what true Lord Erling said when he came to the lower realm. He could go find the true Lord Mind Reader. He was doing well in the lower realm. He directly followed the true Lord Mind Reader's aura to the imperial capital. The third prince didn't have much time left. He directly reincarnated into Xue Xian's body. Every encounter was so magical. Lord Tai by jinxing, I don't want your little bit of immortal energy. It's not enough for your own use. Now that I can't come out for a while, you should get some tonic for my mother of the lower realm. Otherwise, the things she eats won't be able to satisfy my needs. Also, good wine. Give me some good wine too. Neza said with a smile. Guopai's face darkened. If it was just some tonic for Xue Xian, it would be fine. Have you ever seen a pregnant woman drink wine? However, when Guopai wanted to communicate with the third prince, the brat directly shut off his divine sense. No matter how much immortal energy Guopai injected into the third prince didn't react at all. Damn it, I'm in trouble again. This brat went to the lower realm. It seems like he won't be able to return for a while. My good days haven't started yet. I'm going to be busy again. Guopai thought to himself helplessly. I have to go back to Wu Castle and think of a way to get some good Chinese medicine. Otherwise, little Neza will stay in Xue Xian's stomach for 3 years like before. That would be a big problem. Seeing Guopai open his eyes, Xianyuan Tengfei and Xue Xian both took a deep breath. Bad brother, is the child in my stomach okay? Xue Xian asked softly. She had heard about Guopai's medical skills from her sister. It was amazing, but Guopai's expression just now made her feel a little scared. Yes, brother. If you have something to say, just say it. We can handle it. Xianyuan Tengfei said nervously. What do you mean by you can handle it? Brother, I'm Wu Xiu. I'm already in the Xiantian realm. In the future, don't rest in this room. Your aura is affecting the child. No wonder sister-in-law ate so much. Guopai thought for a long time and came up with such an excuse. Xue Xian glared at Xianyuan Tengfei fiercely. So it was her husband's fault after all. Xianyuan Tengfei's face flushed red. Xue Duo had 2 children and there was a nanny watching over them. If he spoke too loudly, Xue Duo would give him a beating. His status would plummet. Now, he was in trouble again before the child in Xue Xian's stomach was born. Brother, is there any way to treat it? Xianyuan Tengfei asked softly. How can I treat it? It's already affected. I'll go back to the capital in 2 days. The child will be born in about a month. I'll go and get some good quality Chinese medicine for sister-in-law to eat. When the child is born, I'll deliver it. Guopai said with a smile. Don't drink the thing in this gourd. It's for sister-in-law. Don't ask what it is. Guopai handed a wine gourd to Xue Xian. Xue Xian reached out and took it, She glared at Xian Yuan Tingfei again. Bad brother, it seems to be wine. Shui Xian opened the gourd and asked softly. Chapter 216. Ahem, tonic wine, tonic wine. Don't worry, just drink it. There won't be any problem. If the baby in your belly kicks you, give him some to drink, and he will be more obedient. Guopai coughed a few times and said. Shui Xian was confused, and Xian Yuan Tingfei was speechless. If he drank too much, he would fall asleep. How could he not be obedient? Then Guopai gave Shui Xian a few more needles to open her meridians. The more Najah thought about it, the more interesting it became. After that, Guopai asked Xian Yuan Tingfei to find a dozen good jade and set a tactical array in Shui Xian's room. Suddenly, the air in the room became much clearer. Brother, I have more jade. You can go to Duo's place and get some. After you put down these jade, you will feel more comfortable in this room. Xian Yuan Tingfei said with a smile. Just follow the way I did just now. Didn't you follow me the whole time I was arranging the jades? Guopai said with a smile. After Xian Yuan Tingfei sent Guopai to his residence, he ran to Shui Duo's place and said that he would improve the environment for Shui Duo. As a result, he was scolded with a red face. Bad brother, this is how you put it. The position is right. This room is exactly the same as Xian's room. I remember it right. How can it be ineffective? After being driven out, Xian Yuan Tingfei said to himself. How could he know that Guopai didn't put down any jade according to the Tao of Heaven? That was the Tao, and ordinary people couldn't do it. After figuring out the baby in Shui Xian's belly, Guopai suddenly felt that his life in this world was going to be busy again. He had promised Hemo that he would go back with her to deal with the 13 needles of Ghost Gate after he was done with his business in the capital. There were still more than 100 people in the Violent Dragon group waiting for the elixir. Now that little Neza had interfered, he had to prepare for his wedding with Lin Shuang next month and open for business in Bugyaku in the capital. After thinking for a while, Guopai felt that his head was about to explode. He had to solve all the problems one by one. He would first go back to Wu Castle. Before going back, he had to visit the Violent Dragon group. Oh right, he had promised little Ling Mo that he would visit the Nangong family. The next morning, Guopai didn't wake up Lin Shuang, who was sleeping soundly. Of course, he didn't stay idle at night either. Xian Yuan Xiongfeng asked him to rest at Hu Mei Er's place. Although he refused verbally, he went out for 2 hours in the second half of the night. As for what he did specifically, Guopai was in good spirits in the morning. Brother, I've arranged the jades according to what you said, but it didn't have any effect. Early in the morning, Xian Yuan Tingfei's condition wasn't good. He was chased out of Shui Duo's place, and then went to Shui Xian's place, only to be refused the door. Helpless, he found a guest room and stayed for the night. When he woke up early in the morning, he saw Guopai, who was full of energy. How could it be? There must be a mistake somewhere. I don't have time to tell you today. In a while, I'll drive your car to the Nangong family. That military jeep is a bit too eye-catching. Guopai said with a smile. Thinking about the word dragon on the jeep, anyone in the capital who knew a little about it would understand what it meant. Who in the capital would dare to put the word dragon on their car plate? Other than the T-Rex group, who else could it be? Xian Yuan Tingfei looked at Guopai driving his Bugatti. Could it be that my car is not eye-catching? Xian Yuan Tingfei thought in his heart. He drove the military jeep around Yunhua Villa a few times. Brat, what's wrong with you? If there's nothing, take me out for a walk. Xian Yuan Xiongfeng woke up early in the morning and saw the military jeep driving around Yunhua Villa. He thought it was Guopai, so he didn't care. Who knew that when he saw that it was his grandson, he immediately became angry. Guopai said that he wanted to open a bugyaku in the capital, so he asked Xianyuan Tengfei to take him to the pharmacy. Then, Xianyuan Xiongfeng asked Xianyuan Tengfei to drive him to the largest Chinese herbal medicine market in the capital. There was a GPS in the car, so it was easy to find the Nangong family. It wasn't far from Yunhua Villa. Although it wasn't as grand as Yunhua Villa, it was a villa of tens of thousands of square meters. Guopai was still shocked. "Bad master, you must be bad master. Please wait, I'll open the door for you." When they arrived at the door, a smart young man opened the door for Guopai. Then, he drove the electric scooter and took Guopai to Nangong Mouse's residence. "Grandpa, the bad master is here, the bad master is here." The young man was so excited that he shouted a few times before he got out of the car. Then, the electric scooter hit the flower pot at the door and a flower pot was smashed into pieces. "Nangong fan, what bad master are you talking about? You broke my flower pot again. It seems that I've wronged you by making you a guard. Recently, Southwest City is short of manpower. You can go there in a few days." Nangong Mouse didn't even open his eyes in the morning when he heard the sound of the flower pot being smashed. He listened to who was calling him. If it wasn't the disappointing son of his fourth wife, who else could it be? However, in the blink of an eye, Xianyuan Mouse's anger disappeared. Guopai really came. Nangong fan did a good job today. It seemed that this kid really understood what he said a few days ago. It was better to let him stay in the imperial capital. The Nangong family was the same as the Xianyuan family. After Guopai left the Gu family, they had gathered everyone in the family to look at Guopai's photo and the information of people related to Guopai. They had to be able to recognize Guopai immediately when he came and invite him in. "Lil Fan, go and find someone to clean up this place. After you're done, go and find your second uncle. See if there's any shortage of manpower in the imperial capital. Stay in the imperial capital for now." Nangong Mouse said with a smile, "Guopai, little you, I heard from little Lingma that you were coming the day before yesterday. Please come in, come in." Nangong Fan was stunned. Was that old man still his grandfather? Didn't he ask me to go to Southwest City? Why did he change his mind in the blink of an eye? Look for second uncle. Yes, since he asked me to look for second uncle, I'll go quickly so that he won't change his mind again. As he thought about it, Nangong Fan drove the electric scooter and rushed forward. Another 7 or 8 flower pots fell from the table and broke into pieces. He ran away without looking back. When Nangong Mouse heard that the flower pots were broken again, he felt a pain in his heart. Then, he smiled and said to Guopai, "Hee, my little grandson, he's a little impatient. Little Lingma is very good, but I don't know why your Nangong family would choose her to participate in the International Esper martial arts competition. Do you have some agreement with Gu Gulei from the Gu family?" Guopai asked directly. Although little Lingma was young, Guopai liked this little girl very much. "Little you, now that the Gu family is finished, there are some things that I can tell you," Nangong Mouse said with a hint of helplessness. "Every family has its own difficulties. Everyone knows that there are 3 big families in the capital, the Gu family, the Nangong family, and the Xianyuan family. The 3 heads of the 3 families are very impressive, but who knows how difficult it is to be the head of a family?" Guopai nodded gently. Before he ascended, the Chun family had been going smoothly under his leadership. However, being the head of a family was indeed not an easy job. Gu Gulei is the head of the Special Ability Group. Many people in the Gu family have awakened their special abilities. This is why the Gu family became the head of the capital in less than 1,000 years. Nangong Mouse said, the Xianyuan family also had a special ability user in the past. However, it seems that every time a special ability user appeared in the Xianyuan family, there would be a big riot in the family. It's the same for the Nangong family. Little Lingma is the only special ability user in the Nangong family in the past 60 years. Are you afraid that the Nangong family will be in turmoil? Guopai asked softly. I'm not afraid. It's because on the first day that little Lingma's special ability awakened, I received a message from Gugule. If the Nangong family doesn't fall, little Lingma has to join the special ability group and participate in the martial arts competition. I'm very selfish. I can't watch anything happen to the Nangong family in my hands, Nangong Mouse said softly. I see. You must wait at the 531 military camp. A few old men want to see you. Give them some face, Niuming said with a smile. Guopai nodded lightly. After all, the last time he went to the Gu family, the car was provided by the 531 military camp. It would be impolite not to reciprocate. Brother, you agreed. I'll contact a few old men right away, Niuming said as he took out his phone. At this time, He Shan grabbed the phone. Call your ass. These old men are not fishing here. They must be in the battle command room. Let's go. He Shan, Niuming, Datai Zhuzi, and Guopai walked towards the battle command room. He Shan, a few military officers are discussing the battle plan for this military exercise. You can't go in. How about I inform them first? A guard directly stopped He Shan and his party. Inform your ass. A grandson meeting his grandfather. How many people have you seen informing them? Hurry up and get out of the way. I don't have time for you. He Shan said loudly. Old man, hurry up and come out. I've brought them here. When they leave, I can't guarantee when they will come again. Big brother He Shan, keep your voice down. They're really having a meeting inside. Not only are the 531 subordinates in charge, but the leaders of the Martial City's military are also there. The guard covered He Shan's mouth and whispered. Shaoli, who is making a scene outside? Why does it sound like He Shan? A voice came from inside the room. It was He Shan's grandfather, Chen Dajuan. Old man, Guopai is here. It's up to you whether you want to see him or not. I don't care. If you don't come out, we will go and play with the Tyrannosaurus Rex group. He Shan shouted again. The door of the battle command room suddenly opened. Brat, where is Guopao? Chen Dajuan asked in a loud voice. The gazes of those who had come out together landed on Guopao. Boy, Yao said you came to the capital. It turns out you are really here. All the big things that have happened in the capital recently are related to you. You are really troublesome. Li Yao's grandfather was invited to the 531 division. He didn't expect to meet Guopai in the capital. Chapter 218. Grandpa, you've already retired from the front line. Why did you come to the capital instead of enjoying your life in Wu Castle? I don't like what you said just now. What did you say about the recent troubles in the capital being caused by me? I'm not that capable. Guopai smiled and said to Li Dotian, I wonder why the other leaders are looking for me. Hurry up and tell me. I'm busy. Kid, how can you talk to me like that? You and Yao are brothers. You're disrespectful to your grandpa. Li Dotian wanted to say something, but he was pulled aside by Chen Dajuan. Old leader, don't join in the fun. We're looking for Little Bad, Chen Dajuan said with a smile. Come in. It's hot outside. Come in and talk. As he spoke, Chen Dajuan invited Guopao in. He Shan and the others were originally prepared to walk in arrogantly, but under the old man's murderous gaze, they obediently followed behind and found a corner to sit down. Grandpa, let's not talk about your business first. Let me tell you about my current situation. Guopai smiled and said, I only have 5 meridian opening pills left. If you want, I can give them to you. Before Guopai could finish, Chun Dajuan became excited. 5 meridian opening pills. If I can make 5 innate level soldier kings, I'll wipe you all out in this exercise, no matter if you're from the special forces or the other military region. Guopai was also stunned. So this old man's requirements are not high. He's satisfied with just a few meridian opening pills. I thought I'd have to prepare 100 or 2. Now it's easy. Little Bad, I know your meridian opening pills are expensive. Our military region won't take advantage of you, but you'll have to wait for the money. Before Guopai could say anything, Chun Dajuan hurriedly said. This caused Guopai's eyes to widen again. What an honest old man. This old man is too honest. He then looked at Li Dotian, who had an evil smile on his face. He didn't even need to think to know what he was thinking. Little Bad, don't stare. We will give you the money very soon. The military region's funds will be coming soon. It won't take too long. Chun Dajun saw Guopai staring and quickly added. You're too courteous. I haven't thanked you for borrowing the carriage from the 531 Battalion. Grandpa Dotian is here today, so I wouldn't dare to mention money. Take these 5 pills as my contribution to the 531 Battalion. I'll give them to the 531 Battalion. Guopai said with incomparable heroism. It was just that Chun Dajun did not know that this brat in front of him had used nearly 150 pills on the tyrannical dragon group in one go. Little Bad, this. Chun Dajun was so excited that he didn't know what to say. Li Dotian straightened his back. Did you hear that? Although this old man is no longer in the military region, his face is still useful. Little Bad, we won't take these things for free. How about this? You can become a division commander in the 531 Battalion. I'll take care of the procedures. This way, no matter where you go in Huaxia, anyone wearing a military uniform will more or less have to give you some face. Some things will be easier for you. What do you think? Chun Dajun thought for a while and said with a smile. Guopai nodded lightly. This was a good feeling. The old man was really daring to give him a position in the military region. He could become a division commander in an instant. Chun Dajun looked at Guopai and nodded. Then, he rubbed his hand. Although he didn't say it, Guopai understood at a glance. Pills, give them to us. The internal competition in the military region is already over. A few peak Hotian soldier elites have been stuck in this awkward realm for many years. 5 meridian opening pills. Keep them well. If they are snatched by others, I won't be responsible, Guo said with a mischievous smile. Just as he handed the pills over to Chun Dajuan, a group of people surrounded him. Old Chun, although no one from the 35th Battalion entered the top 5 in this competition, we have several peak Hotian soldier elite. This time, no matter what, you have to give me one. An old man who was about the same age as Chun Dajun said loudly. Old Zhao, the competition is already over. Now that you've done this, we won't agree. Before Chun Dajun could say anything, another division commander beside him had already stood up. Old Zhang, you're a soldier from the 35th Battalion. Is this how you treat your family members? The division commander surnamed Zhao said with a trace of contempt. If it's no good, then let's have another competition. Last time, our 35th Battalion drew a bad lot. Otherwise, how could we have 2 spots in the top 5? Chun Dajun looked at his several subordinates who were staring at each other. None of them were willing to give up. The several senior colonels from the Wu Castle military region who had followed Li Dotian here were rubbing their hands and looking at Li Dotian. You've already given face to the Imperial Capital military region. Our Wu Castle side won't ask for much. No matter what, you have to give us 5 pills. Li Dotian suddenly felt his face heat up. It wasn't that simple to ask Guopai for pills. Everyone, you can discuss how to divide the pills first. I have to go to the Violent Dragon group. On the 8th of next month, this kid will be getting married in the Imperial capital. If you have time, you can come and attend. I won't be sending out invitations." Guopai finished speaking and quickly left the command room. "Elders, can I say something?" Nyomeng, who was squatting in the corner, asked in a low voice. "Child of the Nyo family, if you have something to say, just say it. Why does Nyo Jinshan have such a wishy-washy, cowardly grandson like you?" A division commander shouted angrily. "If you say I'm wishy-washy or cowardly, then don't listen." Chapter 219. Brother, it's been a few days. Have you finished your business? No one in the capital made things difficult for you, right? If anyone made things difficult for you, just tell us. We'll settle the rest. As soon as he arrived at the Tyrannosaurus Mountain, he heard Xing Tian's loud voice. Behind him were a dozen of his soldiers. When they saw Guopai, their faces were filled with respect. "Brother Xing, I didn't encounter any trouble in the capital. Haha, Dragon King is here, right? Today, I'm here to say goodbye to everyone. Promise the other 4 brothers of our Tyrannosaurus group to quickly get the medicine. I have to return to Wu Castle first," Guopai said with a smile. He didn't need Xing Tian to lead the way and directly walked up the Tyrannosaurus Mountain. "Little friend, that's a big move. I heard from Jiang Ao and Xing Tian that you've dealt with the Gu family thoroughly. However, they didn't explain clearly what happened. Why don't you tell this old man?" Xia Wudi was watching the Tyrannosaurus group's soldiers train in the martial field. When he saw Guopai walking over, he laughed and said loudly, "It involves some grudges from 10,000 years ago. It's not easy to explain. Anyway, I'm not wrong to deal with the Gu family like this. Dragon King, you have to believe me, haha," Guopai said with a smile. He couldn't possibly tell you that the Gu family was controlled by an ancient great demon. As an old general of the heavenly court, his brother used a trace of immortal power to drive the great demon away. Would you believe it? Haha, heroes come from young. If it's not easy to explain, then don't. Anyway, if anyone comes to find trouble with you, the Tyrannosaurus group will take care of it for you, Xia Wudi said with a smile. "I heard from Fian that you're going to hold a wedding in the capital on the 8th of next month. At that time, I'll have to go and freeload some wine. There's a place for this old man, right?" Dragon King must be joking. "There's something I was about to tell you," Guopai said with a smile. "My wife is a member of the Lin family. However, some of the things that the Lin family has done over the years have made my wife and me very unhappy. Therefore, we are not going to let the Lin family take advantage of us. So, we want to find a backer for my wife, and then we thought of you, Dragon King. Can you see if you can do this for me? If you agree, next time we go to the Tyrannosaurus group, I'll let my wife acknowledge you as her father. In the future, everything will be on your shoulders, haha." The Dragon King looked at Guopai and felt that he was not joking. He also nodded seriously. Guopai and the Dragon King laughed together. "Little bad, then I'll take advantage of you. My adopted daughter is called Lin Shuang, right? When you return from Wu Castle, bring her to Mount Baolong and introduce her to the clan," Xia Wudi said with a smile. Guopai nodded. At night, Guopai once again made a pile of delicious food. The people of the Tyrannosaurus group ate very comfortably and became more talkative. "Xingtian, last time it was you guys who went out to carry out a mission. This time, the security and service work for Brother Bad's wedding will be left to us 4 groups. You guys just need to guard Mount Baolong well," Chu Yi, the leader of the Purple Dragon group, said with a smile. "Old Chu is right. Dragon King can't be biased this time. This time, we will go to the capital to help out at Brother's wedding," Bai Shao said with a smile. Then, the 8 leaders of the dragon group quarreled again. Anyway, I don't care. My people will definitely go, Xia Fian said with her head held high. Fian, if you are going to marry Brother Gua, then we don't mind if all of your people go. It's not like you're getting married this time. Why are you in such a hurry to go? Huang Long Ludi's words made Xia Fian's face turn red. Old Lu, you're in the wrong if you say that. Fian is going there to learn some experience and prepare for her marriage. When the time comes, everyone from our dragon group will go. Let 531's people guard our base camp for us, Bai Xiao said loudly, not caring about Xia Fian's expression at all. Guo Pai looked at Xia Fian, whose face was flushed red. Don't say, this girl's looks were not bad, but she could only follow him. Guo Pai did not believe that there would be anyone in this world who would dare to marry such a pure young body. What's wrong with marrying Guo Pai? When he first arrived at Mount Baolong, I said that I would follow him if he cured my foster father and defeated me. Now that Guo Pai has satisfied both conditions, I will marry him. Do any of you have any objections? After Xia Fian finished speaking, she ran away as if she was flying, leaving behind a group of men who were laughing loudly. Little bad, then after the wedding in the imperial capital is over, we will hold another ceremony at Mount Baolong and take Fian away. It is not easy for this girl to follow us on Mount Baolong. Haha. Dragon King said with a smile. Guo Pai nodded his head with a clear conscience, making the few leaders of the dragon group give him a thumbs up. Dinner was very pleasant. In the end, Guo Pai told all the members of the dragon group that when he got married, he would let everyone go over to help. This time, the Tyrannosaurus group became lively again. The excited roars made 531's garrison at the foot of the mountain couldn't help but shiver. What are these killing machines shouting for? Dragon King, when I went up the mountain, I found that there were a lot of herbs on this mountain. I know that there are a lot of people in the Tyrannosaurus group who know Chinese medicine. Let them gather as many of these herbs as they can. Just don't destroy their foundation. After waking up early in the morning, Guo Pai handed a few pieces of white paper with sketches to Dragon King. Dragon King nodded his head lightly. Brothers, you don't have to send me off. Don't worry. After the refining of the medicine in Wu Castle is done, I will return to Mount Baolong as soon as possible and help my brothers to improve their overall strength. Haha. After saying that, Guo Pai leaped and disappeared from where he was. The few people all stared with their eyes wide open. The footwork just now, he was an expert. The next time Guo Pai came, they must ask him to teach them. Guo Pai drove the big jeep back to 531's leisurely. The matters in the imperial capital were perfectly settled. It was time to prepare to return to Wu Castle. Yuer's wife, Wei Wei's wife, Xiaoxi's wife, Xiao Yezi's wife, I miss you all. However, when the car just entered 531's military region, Guo Pai saw a group of old men all standing on the field. This formation was not small. Grandpa Li, you haven't returned to Wu Castle yet? I know you have a private plane, but I'm not used to flying swords. I'll drive back. You don't have to wait for me. Guo Pai looked at Li Dotian and said with a smile. His plane was destroyed by that old man's dagger at the Gu family. He could not be careless now. Taking a plane? Forget it. Hee kid, since the matters in the imperial capital are settled, let's talk about Wu Castle. As a promising young man of Wu Castle, you have the responsibility and obligation to help the Wu Castle military region improve its strength. Don't you think so? Li Dotian said with a smile. Guo Pai's face was full of black lines. Old man, you've already retired from the front line. Why are you still so nosy? I don't have any more pills. If you don't believe me, you can search me. After all, you're all good at this. Guo Pai's words made Li Dotian and the group of old men behind him blush. Little bad, I've already given the 5 pills to a few soldiers with good quality. I know these pills are precious, but do you think you can get us some more next time? As he spoke, Chun Dajuan handed a small booklet with a military officer's certificate to Guopai. He was Guopai, the commander of the 531's Special Combat Division. Guopai looked at it and smiled. There were only 2 people in the Special Combat Division. One was him, and the other was Vice Commander Nioming. Little Bad, you're now a member of the 531's army. I hope you can get us some more pills next time. I don't want too many, just about the same as the T-Rex groups, Chun Dajuan said with a smile. Guopai felt a headache coming on. Do you really think it's so easy to get these pills? If it weren't for the fact that he had the Laojun gourd on him, he would never give these pills to Immortal. In the end, Guopai agreed to the various requests of the group of old men. Under the gazes of the group of lieutenant colonels and senior colonels, he returned to the imperial capital with Nioming. Of course, what made Guopai very happy was that in less than a day, the 531's army had already delivered 2 carts of medicinal herbs to the Gu residents in the imperial capital. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.